Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. That's Jersey. You guys know him.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome on into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. It's a simple tap of the button. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Let's get a like rally going on the way in here. I really appreciate that. But yeah, obviously we're going to get into the Browns. I know it's a lot of our audience is here to watch. People have subscribe to us and watching every week. We're gonna get to the Browns loss yet again today, Jersey. I know we'll have some thoughts on that. But on a more positive note, we'll start off with a much positive note. Joining us tonight, Jersey, is Nick Kinsey, quarterback at Archbishop Hoban here in Akron. He's also an Eastern Michigan commit. It's a senior year. The Knights had a big win the other night, 38-0 over Boardman in the quarter semifinal of the OHSA playoffs. So they will move on this Friday to play against Hudson in the regional semifinals. Am I right, Jersey? Yeah, semifinals. Yeah. And so big game this Friday as well at Hoban's. If you like to go support local high school football, go watch the game. You'll be really entertained. Obviously, Hoban's got a lot of great players, including Nick. And there's Owensby, obviously the Maslin fan. He's not welcomed much over here. But shout out to Owensby.
Not too bad.
But shout out to Owensby. And I see Perry Johnson's already going off on the Browns. So we'll get to that in a minute. But Nick's first game back, he was out for 3 weeks due to an injury. So his first game back was the Boardman game, and went out there, Jersey, right here on the first play, and threw a beautiful pass here for a touchdown to number 2, John Johnson. And you can see right here. I think this is his first play in the game. And you can see your 68-yard touchdown pass. You can see here, great job right down the seam. And Jersey, that was fun to watch in person. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't even see him going to the game, and I saw that, and I turned, and I see that pass. I'm like, damn, Peyton threw that ball, and then you were like, no, it was Nick. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a great pass. It was right on. It's pretty awesome to be out 3 weeks and then come back. That's your first pass.
Yeah, for sure. And so, well, let me ask the man about it himself. Joining us now, might as well get him up here. Obviously, man of the hour, the man himself, Nick Kinsey's in the house. Nick, welcome into The Real.
How's it going, gentlemen?
How's it going,
Thanks
brother?
for coming on, bud.
Yeah, no, just watching some good football today, and watch some film, and got a good lift in. So, not much to it.
Nice. Well, walk us through that play there, Nick. We'll start right there. Obviously, I know you were out for 3 weeks due to an injury. You and I talked after the game. You said you weren't able to really throw a ball for, I think you said 2.5 weeks. I mean, what was that like to go out there your first play and throw a 68-yard touchdown?
Yeah, I've been dealing with some stuff all year. Just kind of trying to get that out there. Dealing with stuff all year, and then to come back after some bad stuff happening. With like my shoulder. Mm-hmm. And being able to come back out there and throw a strike to my boy John and just get the ball in his hands, and he made the play. I look out there, I see the safety in the spot I want him to be in, and then just make sure he doesn't move to where I'm going to throw it, and touch ball. Don't have nothing much to it. John does the job. O-line, great job protection up front, so can't ask for much more.
Absolutely. It was a dominant performance for you guys overall. I mean, kind of tell us about your victory over Boardman and your thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, I got to give up the defense, right? Wing T, that's tough. Yeah. They're going to chew the clock. They're going to come out and be slow. So we took the ball first. Peyton Cook and Jance and Bub and the whole line, whole offense, they go out there, they score the first drive. That's awesome. So they put Boardman behind, scrambling a little bit. Our defense gets a stop. And then Jackson Callaway takes one to the crib off a punt, and all of a sudden it's 14 rip, and the game just started, right? So, that makes my job easy when I go out there and I just get the snap in my hands, and I'm told, hey, like, just go out there, look at the defense, and, make a decision. So that's why quarterback's so fun, right? I mean, you get to make the decisions. You get to be the ultimate decider. Obviously Coach T and Coach Saunders, they make the play, and then I just execute. So it was a fun win, but on to the next. It was just a little road bump.
Sure.
Jersey. Right. How did when you did you have some jitters when you came back into the game? Being out 3 weeks, being in the playoffs. How did it? Did you have to shake that off a little bit, or did you feel pretty confident with the guys around you?
Well, I came into the game and I had a lot of confidence coming into the game. I really liked what I saw before the week on film, and I was confident that after I saw the first drive that they were showing the same thing that they had been showing. That was great. So, I had a lot of confidence going into the game. I was just glad to be out there playing again, man. I love just being able to command and lead and win ultimately. So, a little bit, but not much. I was just more happy and excited to be out there than anything. I was just pumped.
I know you said. Oh, go ahead.
I say you wouldn't have known by the way through that ball. So
yeah,
he had a great night. Great night. That was a great job. Threw 2 touchdowns, and you were on. So it was great to see, and I look forward to this Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it was a fun night.
What was your preparation like? Excuse me. During that, almost 3 weeks you were out. Obviously, you couldn't throw for a little bit. What was that preparation like? I know you mentioned there you saw the look you were kind of expected to see. Obviously, that comes from a lot of good film work and stuff like that. So, I mean, what was that preparation like? Not being able to throw the ball. How do you get ready when obviously a lot of what you do is go into practice and throwing the ball, get those reps in, get your rhythm.
Yeah, so I got hurt during Glenville, right? Just bad situation, and then next week Central York, and the week after that Eds, which is a big game for us. So that was tough. That was tough for me to miss. But my I feel like my job kind of during those weeks were obviously number one, get myself healthy as soon as possible, and so I've been working my tail off at PT and treatment with our trainer Jeff, who's awesome, and Jake. They do a ton for us. So couldn't say enough good things about them. And then one of my other jobs was just I was still watching a ton of film, just that way when Peyton would come off the sidelines, I could either help him, or if he asked a question, I could be like, hey, this, like, I like this here, or whatever it may be. But I was just trying to be there for Peyton and be the best possible, like, friend, quarterback, whatever they needed me to be to help my team win the game when I couldn't play. So that's
awesome. That's awesome to hear. It makes me want to run through a brick wall right behind you. Honestly, you got anything you want to follow up with that, Jersey?
Well, yeah, you could see it. I mean, you could see it. Obviously we're at every game, and the latter half of the season, you can really see the team really starting to fire. And it was pretty. I thought it was great when the Peyton was able to come in when you went down, and I had no idea he played quarterback. And my daughter tells me, she goes, "Oh, he played before he got to Hoban," and just be able to transition in like that. And I thought here it was almost like seamless. So, but it was great to see you come in and be able to throw a 68-yarder like that. You know what I mean? That just kind of stretched that defense out a lot more. And but overall, you can just see the team's really starting to fire right at the perfect time. And I feel really, really, really good about this team, and at defense, like you were saying, just unbelievable. You know what? They started running that wing T the other night. I looked at Joseph. I said, and this team Boardman picked the wrong team to try to do this shit on. You know what I mean? I mean, they got some yards at that first drive, but I knew, once Debo and the rest of the coaches made the adjustments, it was going to be over. So, but it's good to see. And I'd like to ask, have you ever played any position other than quarterback?
Yeah, funny thing is, growing up, I was always one of the biggest kids on the field, weight and height. So I
Yeah.
played O-line, D-line, tight end, linebacker, like kind of you name it. I played it growing up. So, and my dad was always my coach growing up. So
yeah,
I always loved throwing the ball. I was a baseball kid growing up, and I pitched. I played outfield, played third base. So kind of always had that big arm, like you could say. I always wanted to play quarterback, but there was a rule, like in Minnesota where I'm from, there was a rule, like if you're over a certain weight, you can't play quarterback or running back or receiver.
yeah.
So I played all the trench positions and just loved it though. I always loved just playing football, but I think my real love for football started, in the 7th or 8th grade, when COVID hit. I was able to play some quarterback. And that's really when it all started.
Well, kind of go off of that. I mean, I know you said you're from Minnesota. Where are you from in Minnesota?
Minneapolis area, just right outside of it. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool. What made you though start playing quarterback then in 7th grade? Then I know you said because you played multiple positions growing up. What made you all of a sudden play quarterback?
My dad and my brother, I would say mostly. My dad played quarterback in high school, then receiver in college, and he always loved just throwing the ball around with us at the park and all that. And then my brother played quarterback in high school for a while. Then he played tight end. He switched his junior and senior year and played some college ball at St. Thomas in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar? Yeah. So I would say it all started with those two, just throwing the ball around with them, having fun, and being able to have the ball in my hands and being able to make plays. That's the best part about playing quarterback. And I love all the intangibles that come with it, right? All the film, all the prep, all the all the ups and downs, because ultimately when you win, it's like the team did great, but when you lose, it's like, oh yeah, it's my bad, right? So I love that. Don't need to be the star, but you got to be able to take it when you're down, when team's down.
How did playing multiple positions growing up, how do you think that helped you become a better quarterback in any way?
Just the mindset, right? The mindset, knowing the dude across from you is not going to be able to stop you, or he's not going to get past you, and being like, all right, I'm that guy. Like, how are you going to beat me? How are you going to beat me? And then showing that the quarterback position, like, hey, my arm talent's going to beat you on this play defense, or my legs might beat you on this play, which I'm more of an arm going to beat you kind of guy, but
but trying to go head up with linebackers and safeties every play or all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Feaster or Jance or
run right through them, yeah.
But I mean, I can if they need me to, right? Like, yeah. I'll do whatever it takes to get that ring on my finger. That's
it, man. And be able to, was it kind of a tough transition? I mean, obviously, I think for any kid to leave where they're at and have to move and go to a different school, especially out of state, it's going to be a transition. It's going to be tough at first. And but is the football any different in Ohio versus Minnesota?
I couldn't start with that, right? Like, I mean, the athletes, the size, the speed, it's all really sped up, but now it's starting to slow down a little bit again.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I mean, we were pretty big up front, right? The O-line and D-lines were pretty big, but never as physical and never as fast. And then the skill positions are really where you see the big difference, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have any Peyton Cooks, I didn't have any Jackson Callaways or John Johnsons or Rock Hills or Grady, any of my receivers, right? I mean, any of my starting 5 or 6 receivers would have been the best receiver on my team last year. So,
Wow.
What was the moment for you when you got to Hoban where you were kind of like, was it a game, a practice? I mean, you're going to get some of the best guys every day in practice too. So, and what was the moment for you? You were kind of like, yeah, this is a little different than maybe where I was used to playing at.
probably the weight room, I would say.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I got in the weight room and I was like, holy, like wow. Like,
What was that like?
right? Like, I see Bub, I see Squeak, I see Patrick, and I'm just like damn, what is this, right? I think one of our defensive linemen is like a 25-year-old coach. Like, I'm like, whatever. But I think that's kind of the moment where I was like, yeah, like, this is a little different.
Yeah, that's cool. What was that transition like too, just for you personally? Obviously, I mean, you moved from Minnesota to Ohio. I mean, forget just moving schools your senior year. I mean, you're moving a different state. How was that like? The challenges of that and acclimating. Obviously, you want to go to a new school, trying to fit in. You know what I mean? It's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, so I went to Stillwater Area High School in Minnesota. My sophomore year, we made it to state quarters, and then we lost. I had a great receiver, Tanner Schmidt, who's balling out at JUCO. And then my junior year, it was okay. It was average, wasn't great. And then, I make the transition this spring, right? So like six months ago-ish. And I didn't really know anybody, right? Because I was moving here because my dad's job's on the East Coast. So we were just kind of looking because he had to move anyways. And I make the transition, and it was just like I knew one kid, right? I knew Tanner Mintz, at Kent State now, great player.
Yeah.
Bad dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
A horse. He was the only one I knew, and so I'd hang out with him and JB Burkeen, pretty much all the time. And then I met my football friends. I met Patrick. I met Bub. I met Squeak. All those guys. And they made it really, really easy, right? They made that transition really easy because there's a great sense of family on the football team. Like, I know that anybody outside the Hoban football team, like, yeah, there can be some like internal like messing around and talking back and forth. But if anybody tried to mess with the Hoban football player that wasn't from Hoban football, right? Like, it's like a family, right? Like, you're just a bunch of dogs. So that part, that family feeling, and the part of me coming in and playing quarterback and competing and playing some going to spring like practices, whatever you want to call them, that made it really, really easy. And I was blessed with such great friends and supportive family and supportive friends. So that was awesome.
Yeah, all 3 of them dudes. I mean, good dudes. I missed Patrick last week. I was at a basketball game, and I would love to have been up here and ask him some questions. And but of course, Bubs. I've had a good conversation with Bubs, and that had to be crazy getting in a locker room with him and seeing him just bench. You know what I mean? Talking about the locker room. Good grief, man! That's what that kid can do. So, but if you weren't playing quarterback, what's the position you'd like to play? Like, if it was like Friday night and they said, hey, you could play any position. You know what I mean? What would you want to do? Like, what's your favorite position other than quarterback?
Throw a few pounds on me and make me grow a few inches and put my hand in 3-point stance and let me catch some balls at tight end and block. Right? Like, I love tight end. My brother played it. And I loved watching like Rob Gronkowski growing up. Like, that was one of my favorite players.
That's the man right there.
Yeah. So I thought that would always be really fun, right? Just being one of the biggest and just being one of the strongest and being mean and putting people in the dirt and also catching balls.
Well, I like that you said block because when I used to coach, I coached Joseph and I coached Debo in youth, and that's how we met Debo back in 2011, and then he just became part of our family, lived with us, and but my biggest thing, and we had some studs, and we had a team that played nationals and won nationals, and probably other than Debo, I think two of them went to Hoban, and one's in the Air Force now, but. The thing that I used to love the most was the blocking. I mean, you want to get me fired up on a sideline when I see a big block, or I just see the lineman pulling, just going downfield, just blocking. I just love blocking, and I just love the fact that you said that. You know what I mean? So, but you probably got a great appreciation for blocking because you're QB and you just play on the O line. So,
Yeah.
I like the old. I love the trenches. I love the big men. It's probably here. My son was the center.
Yeah.
Debo was the left tackle, and but I just love that. I like seeing Big Sam down there on the sidelines. I'm always just like Big Sam Greer. You know what I mean? Just I just love seeing Sam. You know what I mean? I just love big linemen. So that's great. It's great to hear,
Yeah.
man. I'm glad there's attention to blocking.
Yeah, he's Sam. I mean, my whole line I'm really tight with, right? Like I go to get breakfast with them on the weekend sometimes after film or whatnot.
That's awesome.
But I mean, obviously I wouldn't be here without my O line, right? And my receivers, just the whole offense as a collective, but especially the O line, right? Like my life would be over if I didn't have an O line that could block for me. And Sam's one of my best friends too, honestly. Like it was really Patrick and Sam that I hung out with first. Actually, we went to Top Golf.
Yeah.
and it was a good time.
I mean, those lines would bring the juice all year too. I mean, in some of those big runs, where Bubs is hard to take down because he just keeps churning, and that line's sitting there just pushing and pushing down the field, and you get an extra 10 yards just on a pile pushing down the field. Obviously, the infamous one this year where Squeaks literally picked up the kid. But
I think his that might be the most noticeable one, but his best block was on Bub's 99-yard touchdown run. I was out of the game. I was hurt, but against Glenville to seal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sealed the edge on Sincere Johnson, and
which is not an easy thing to do against that guy.
No, not at all.
That's a bad dude.
I think that's awesome that he does that for his brother. Like I'm telling you, those two, right? Like if one of them's in anything, like even like a talk, just jawing at each other, the other one's close behind. It's just two canine dogs.
Oh, we saw in that Ed's game.
Yeah.
But here, you know what though? He was, even as a freshman, talking about Squeaks, dude, he's a great blocker. I tell his dad, I'd tell his dad, talking to Bo, and I'd be like, man, he's you watch it because we watch a lot of video here at the house and go back and watch the games, and so much of what Bubs is able to do is just Squeaks just taking guys out, man. And so he's a joy to watch too, and
and look forward for him at defensive end, everybody. Just have your TV, just have your eyes glued to TV.
Yeah,
or be at the game and see it. I'll just tell you that right now. I know
he's pretty
Mr. Everything excited about that.
He's pretty ferocious, you know what I mean? So I agree with you on that. I can see that. So
yeah, for sure. I want to ask you, Nick. Obviously, you're an Eastern Michigan commit. Somebody who's close to us, Tylen Boykin, who was at Hoban. Obviously, great player, great kid, phenomenal kid, an absolute warrior. He's up there as well. Why Eastern Michigan, and what are you looking forward to getting up there after the season?
Yeah, so I'm heading up there in January, right? I'm heading up there early.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose them over some other schools just mostly because, I want an opportunity to compete, right? That's all I asked for. It's just an opportunity to compete. I think competition and just competition just brings out the best in me in any way possible. Just like showing people and proving people wrong. I think I've really grown into that. I have a flag right above my head right now. It says "Prove them wrong," and I got a bunch of names on there that just people who've done me wrong over the years. And I look at that every morning when I wake up, just like, hey, here's another reason to keep going, right? So the competition aspect, and then I'm just looking forward to getting my roommates and practicing and being in Yipsy and just being around the guys. Yeah.
That's great, dude. I mean, and here I used to always tell these guys when I used to coach them, even at when they were that age, I'd say, I didn't really want kids to. Not saying it's great to have dreams, obviously, you know what I mean, and want to go pro, but obviously we all know that it's like winning the super lotto. You know what I mean? It's very rare that you get there. So, I used to always tell the kids, here, if you could get your college paid for, you've succeeded. You know what I mean? And I would say even if you don't, that success isn't defined by that. But as far as like football, what you get out of, something other than the lessons in life that football teaches you. But if you could just get to college and get that where somebody pays for your college, man, that's great. You know what I mean? Because I'm in a profession where I see a lot of what I do. I see a lot of people's debt, and it's just amazing what you see, the amount of debt people have with that. So that's just great, man. And hopefully you get to compete and hear it, and you'll get more out of it there. If you look at like what Debo, it's he went to Cincinnati and and he played 2-3 years, and I always kind of knew, because he's like a son to me, that he was I always felt like he'd be a coach. Hell, he was preaching when he was 15 years old. He'd be on a pulpit at church on Sunday morning preaching. You know what I mean? You see him in practice, you could probably see that. So, but I always kind of knew he'd be a coach, and I think when he made that decision to no longer play, I think it was tough, probably, but man, you see him now, and obviously we're all glad he's home, but I just seeing him out on that field and seeing what he's doing, the contributions that he's making, because that's what it's about, is serving and helping other people and helping guys. That's what coach. I don't think there's a greater profession in the world than a coach. You know what I mean? There's great people, there's police officers, there's doctors, etc. But what a coach can do for someone, it's just awesome. So to see that, and maybe when you get that age, always maybe look forward to giving back, coaching. Never be afraid of helping other people, and helping these young guys. Remember always where you were, but help these young guys progress. So that's just the dad coming out of me, man. Sorry, but you know what I mean. So what I'm basically trying to tell you is, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Live in the moment, dude, and have fun. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
I know you said your dad coached you growing up. Was there another coach as well? I mean, obviously, what's it like being a coach to you? I mean, who was a coach for you growing up that really inspired you?
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. So when I started playing quarterback in 7th grade, I had a quarterback coach back in Minnesota who, still watches all of my stuff, and is still one of my biggest supporters and like another father figure to me, right? His name's Cleve McCoy, QBFT Football Training. That's his brand. He trains. I would say he trains the best quarterbacks in Minnesota. And then I have a quarterback coach in Detroit, Coach Donovan Dooley. He helped me a lot. He helped me a ton too. He helped me a lot with the mental part of it, right? Like, seeing the fronts, seeing coverages, seeing rotation, seeing all that kind of stuff, because I'm big into that kind of stuff. Just seeing where the gaps are, and what the game plan is going to be and how we're going to be able to attack this defense. So, for example, Hudson this week, they're going to be middle close team, and it's just kind of like Boardman, honestly. Middle field close, they'll spin the safeties a little bit more, and just the seams are going to be open and lots of RPO. They have a light box too, but sorry. Anyways.
Oh, you're good, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, the coaches are a huge part of every single football player. It's always gonna be a few coaches that help you get along the way, and Coach T has helped me tremendously, and Coach Saunders, the offensive coordinator, they've both helped me a ton since I've gotten here. And they try to make things simple for me and easy for me. But they also know that they know what my abilities are, and they know they can put some trust into me when it comes game time and in a big situation.
For sure, absolutely. I know I've been watching Coach T for a very long time, and I was one of the best coaches out there. And I've always watched your guys' interaction. I was the first person who talks about the field as the quarterback. So, but I mean, what is it like being a quarterback under Coach Tyrrell, excuse me?
Yeah, he played quarterback in high school and then tight end at Youngstown State, so he knows the position well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say he's hard on the quarterbacks, but I feel like most coaches are, right?
Yeah.
But he makes things very simple for me within the offense, right? He gives me the RPO tagged on the play, and it gives me best look sides on route combinations and whatnot. So it's really fun being a coach. I mean, being a player under him and being able to play for the name on our chest and playing for our own name. So yeah, Coach T he's helped me a ton, and he's tough, but I know it's tough love, and it'll be all good when we got that ring.
For
What's
sure.
your favorite?
Oh, go
What's
ahead.
your favorite thing about Coach T?
My favorite thing?
Yeah.
I would say my favorite thing about Coach T are probably his pregame speeches, I would say. And the fact that we can go to him anytime during the day.
Yeah.
And like anytime during the day at school, and just be able to talk to him and hang out with him, and he's just kind of like one of the guys for a little bit when we hang out with him.
Great.
Yeah, I got you. So I have your senior year highlights here. Is Nick's highlights from this past regular season. Obviously, we're still going in the playoffs, but kind of recap your season so far, brother. I mean, what have you? Where have you feel like you really grown in your game, and some of your favorite moments?
I mean, for sure, everybody's got to say the Monday win, right? The Walsh game. I mean, that was a ton of fun.
Oh yeah,
the atmosphere was electric that night too.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here's a ball versus Walsh, cover 2 hole shot. JC, great route, great catch. This was against King. This was a fun game, right? Game winning drive against them too as well. Great team. But I would say where I've improved the most this year is just when like my processing and getting the ball out on time to my guys and getting it in spots where they can catch it. Because I know I have great athletes, and if I get them the ball in space or get them the ball at all, they're gonna make something happen. So I love just being able to do what I do and get the ball to my guys so they can make plays. And yeah, I mean it's been a ton of fun just to be a part of this team. Yeah, I mean King was an awesome game. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it was week
tough
3.
team.
Week
Go ahead,
3
Jersey.
early on. Week 3 early on, just a dogfight.
Nick, who's your favorite player of all time and why?
There's so many options, right? I mean, my favorite quarterbacks in the league right now are Justin Herbert, Jackson Dart, JJ McCarthy, and Josh Allen. Right? I love those guys. I love the way they play, and I love them all for different reasons. Jackson Dart, I love his demeanor, his swag, his confidence. I like how JJ McCarthy carries himself and kind of some of his pregame rituals. Those are cool. The way he uses that. Josh Allen, I mean, just the way he plays, right? Gunslinger, can run all over you, can throw it. I mean, can run you over, right? Like all the intangibles. And then Justin Herbert, I was a big Oregon fan growing up, so I grew up watching him and like Marcus Mariota. And so I've watched him ever since college and now in the NFL, and just love watching him.
I got to follow up on that, though. You mentioned J.J. McCarthy and his pregame rituals. I've actually mentioned that because a lot of my platform, what I'm known for, you can see it says on the top there, more than anxiety. And so I do a lot of mental health. It's from my story to stuff I overcame, which, I share on the internet and stuff and on here. I know JJ uses a lot of those things that help with mindfulness and being present. And so, do you use a lot of those things as well for your pregame rituals? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I actually do. One of the things I do before the game, right, is I sit underneath the field goal post just like he did in college, and I just breathe for 10 minutes with some with some meditation music on, and I breathe. I visualize everything that I'm gonna try to accomplish that game and all the success that I'm going to and I want to have. And one of the big things for him and my mental coach, what me and him talk about is just breathing
Mm-hmm.
and writing down, what's going to go on in the game and what you can say to yourself to calm yourself down and get yourself in that mindset. So, yeah, no, I love what JJ McCarthy does, and his 9 personality. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How he talks about it's not JJ, it's 9 on game day, which is, I think that's sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I love hearing that. Everybody knows my story, what I went through in high school, where I couldn't even finish school because my anxiety and depression got so bad. I didn't have any of these tools. I didn't know about any of that stuff. I wish I would have, um, but I love hearing that, hearing younger athletes, even like yourself and JJ applying that. I know Jersey, you feel this obviously the same.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing your son go through that, but how do you feel like that helps you? I mean, you kind of mentioned how it helps, but where did I guess kind of you really start to feel that in a moment of a game where you feel like I need to just take a moment to kind of just settle down and have a moment to yourself on the bench. What's that like for you usually during because you guys playing a lot of high intense games, obviously like the Bum Day game. It's a lot on the line. You're trying to win. There's a lot of emotions. How do you find that moment in the game to really just kind of take a minute to decompress?
Yeah, so let's actually take it to the Walsh game. So I have on my wristband in every game, I have my play sheet, right? I have my play sheet just in case they call one of the play cards. And then underneath that I flip it over and I have things that I tell myself before I take the field for whatever the drive may be. Whether it's the game-winning drive or a big drive to finish, like to maybe put like to just put your foot on their throat, right? Whatever the drive could be or whatever the moment could be. I look at that and I say those things to myself. And the one thing that I remember saying to myself during that Walsh game, when it came time to go, like go time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you're born for this, right? And I was saying it out loud, and I was saying it to like people around me, like I'm born for this, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go, like. Hey, these dudes are not gonna stop us on this drive. We're going down, we're scoring, and we're winning this goddamn football game, right? Like a whole line.
Yeah.
I go into the film 10. I'm like, hey, I don't care what the heck has happened. This before this drive, we're gonna go down there, we're gonna score, we're gonna play our best football on this drive right here, and we are gonna win this. Whatever, we're gonna a lot more choice words, but we're gonna win this game right here. Let's go. Right, and that got them fired up, and I was fired up, and that's really when you need it, when in the most clutch times. I mean, that's when a real quarterback's made. So I was excited.
Man, you got me fired up there now. Because like I said, I played lineman growing up, and both my quarterbacks did that. Man, it was wartime. Yeah, it's ready to go. It was blood. So somebody was getting ready. We're going out there to kill somebody. But
I was say, yeah, man, you got to give the most love to the O linemen, right? They don't get any of the glory, they don't get any of the hype, but they do the dirtiest work to keep me clean. So I love them to death, and I couldn't say enough good things about each and every single one of them.
Yeah. I mean, everything's contingent on the O line. You know what I mean? I mean, if they don't perform, nothing's happening. So I mean, it's amazing what happens when an O line's playing well. And in that game, just that push they gave Brayton, on that one drive where Squeaks picked that guy up in the air. But I mean, I was up out of I was surprised you didn't hear me screaming in the damn bleachers, man, because I have people looking at me like, is this guy on cocaine or something? I mean, because that's just how I am. I'm an emotional person. And when I see that kind of stuff, man, I can just get wound up. So I'm up like screaming, but because I just love seeing that, just not giving up on a play, and just that physicality and pushing. So It was great. And like I said, whatever you did in that game, it paid off in the end, man. Because that one little pass you got to Jackson, and he got a handful of yards after the catch. I mean, that was pivotal. That one, you probably agree with that. So, you guys just did a great job in that game. That was one of the best football games I think I've ever sat through. I think we were saying that night,
Mhm.
and man, it had me on the edge of my
Night you'll never
seat.
forget
And
for sure.
Yeah,
everything, man. The student section was. I mean, they were off the hook. I mean, it was just crazy, and
I mean, yeah,
it
people pulled
was
over
it
on
was
the highway
awesome.
to watch the end of the game. That's how crazy it
Yeah,
was.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was great. So,
I mean, it's all for nothing though if we end up facing them and we can't beat them though in the playoffs, because that's all that matters, right? It's November and December football, and
oh yeah,
regular
absolutely.
season's for show, playoffs is when it comes real.
That's
That's
actually
it.
well, I don't want to hold your time up too long. I really appreciate you coming up here tonight. This is great stuff, brother. But obviously, hold on. We got Coach Martin in the chat too. He said Nick is a football guy. He will be successful in anything that he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he is coaching when he's done playing.
It's always been a dream of mine, Coach.
Shout out to
That's
Mr.
awesome,
Everything.
dude.
Mr. Everything's in the house.
Shout out Coach Debo with his triple decker PBJs.
Yeah,
He was talking about that.
Yeah,
Making peanut butter jelly for you guys.
Yeah,
that's the best.
he really is Mr. Everything. You know, he does everything. But
he's literally everywhere,
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I walk into a class, he's just sitting there in the chair. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's got eyes on you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's a wonderful human being though, man. He's built for this, so it's
we
awesome
also
to
got we got Pat in the house. He said, "Great
Yeah.
guy right here." He said,
I was watching his the other day too. So that's
Shout out to
Stud
Pat.
Muffin.
Shout out to Pat's father as well, who I met at the game last Friday night. Great guy, and so awesome family, and love
great
Pat.
family. Yeah, we sat with the family a handful of times, and
yeah,
very nice people. Down there's people, cool people, and you can see it in Pat. You know what I mean? Type of guy that he is. So
loves his family.
No.
Sorry, fellas. That's my dog.
No, you're good, bro.
At me.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Hoban's definitely a family atmosphere. You feel it when you're there. I mean, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's asking, everybody's doing all the time. You need anything. But obviously, we all know what the main mission is. You know, they haven't won in 5 years, and you know, obviously, you understand the standard being there now, and you know what it is to win at Hoban. You know, you mentioned kind of the mindset going to the playoffs already. How do you have to the regular season? It's over with now. It's a brand new season. You guys are 1-0 already. You need 5 more wins to go?
Four
more wins to go.
Four more.
4 more wins. Friday you had to buy 4 more wins to go. Kind of what's the mindset going this week against Hudson and just the rest of the playoffs? Obviously, you're the quarterback, and you know, obviously you're the leader of the team, and you understand all that. So, kind of what's your mindset as the leader going to the playoffs and the message to the rest of the team?
One day at a time. Like that's all we can do. One day, getting better each and every day to the best of your ability. Just making sure that you polish everything that you need to do going into the game, and then we go over another speed bump, as Coach T says, right? Mm-hmm. Just another speed bump, just another Friday night, and we're gonna keep going. But this is when we have to play our best football. So, Patty Ice said it best right there. Ring, ring. Let's go, baby. So, I'm pumped. We've been dreaming about this since I've got here. It's all anybody's talked about in the football team, and we know our goal and we know where our vision's at, but just one day at a time.
I know you said back when you were in Minnesota, you made it to the States on your high school team there. How did that experience back then? Is there any lessons you take from that helping you now in this playoff run as a senior?
Yeah, it makes me realize that I don't like losing. I've known that for a long time, and I don't like losing in the playoffs. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I don't care what it will take, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to, get the guys around me that ring and, get my family what we need and what we want and what we deserve.
Wow, that's awesome. Jersey, got any final question here for Nick before we let him get up out of here?
No, Nick, here I just it's been a pleasure watching you, dude, and look forward to these next 4 games. And here's one game at a time. You know what you guys have been saying all year. You've been stacking. You know what I mean? So got to keep stacking those wins, and like I said, just live in the moment, dude. Stay in the moment. Sounds like you do that, sitting underneath the goalpost, and everything's gonna pan out. You know what I mean? I think the only thing that could beat Hoban is Hoban. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you guys know that too. And but here, Division Two is I don't hear
One of the best.
Division One's one. Yeah, I don't know if there's a better. I mean, you talk about a stacked division. You know what I mean?
D2's the best.
So,
Come on.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's great players, great coaches, programs. All I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great programs.
Yeah, I mean, so to be able to go through that, it's just awesome. So, just looking forward to it, dude, and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do my best to get me and my boys and my family at Hoban, the team, our ring. So, yeah, that's all I got left, and I appreciate you boys having me on. Thank you guys.
I appreciate you, brother, and I'll see you Friday night. So
yes, sir. See you Friday night. Let's go get another one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
we'll be there supporting you guys, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Have a great week.
Yes, sir. Will do, of course. See you, fellas. Thank you.
See you. Shout out to Nick Kinsey. That was awesome.
Yep. Love high school sports. Can't get enough of high school sports. I mean, it's the best. You know what I mean? So just I like having these guys up.
That's definitely a guy I'd run through a brick wall for. I'd tell you that. As a former life, I can't stress that enough. He was awesome. But I see the professional fans in the house. We're going to take a quick break just to kind of regather our notes here and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to react to the Browns and their yet another loss today, Jersey, as they fall to 2-7 against the tanking Jets. So stay tuned.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah, the toilet bowl, they lost. So, I got that right here. The Browns lose the toilet bowl yet again. I feel like they're in a lot of toilet bowls in my lifetime. But but no, they lost the toilet bowl again this year. So we'll get to it in a second. We'll be right back around the corners. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
It's interesting to me. God really did have that plan for me throughout this entire time. Mm-hmm. It was simply just up to me when I was able to stop playing God. I thought I was the one making things happen. No, God is in control. A saying my dad used to always say was, man plans while God laughs. I had a plan for my life. Like, I was going to be, I'm talking about from as soon as I can remember my first thought, I'm going to be in the NFL. I'm going to be, a quarterback. Right. I'm going to, my life was made.
I'm going to have all this money. I'm going to get any girl I want. I'm going to have all these cars. Hey, that's going to be good.
I'm talking Beyonce is going to be like, hey, what are you doing today?
What's up?
Then Rihanna tomorrow. Like it was this plan I had for my life. And as I got older, obviously the plans got smaller, but I still continue to plan. Something that I do now, and I would recommend everybody doing, every single night when I pray, what I used to do was say, God, allow me to pass this test. God, allow me to, meet this girl. God, allow, this date to go well, this day to go well. When I go to sleep every single night, what I pray for is for God's will to be done. Because he obviously knows what he's doing. I don't. Because if I knew what I was doing, I would be, I wouldn't be talking about Baker on the Browns. I'd be on the Browns right now. If I knew if I followed my plan, Beyonce would be hitting me up. She hasn't hit me up. I must have missed that call or something.
She don't want some bake.
Right. She doesn't want the AMP producer. She has a billionaire husband or something. It's interesting to me. God really did have that plan for me throughout this entire time. Mm-hmm. It was simply just up to me when I was able to stop playing God. I thought I was the one making things happen. No, God is in control. Mm-hmm. From the moment I wake up, God is in control. So
all right, welcome back. Time to move on to the Browns. Like we said, guys, the Browns, today was the toilet bowl. They went against the tanking New York Jets, who literally traded away a lot of their key players this week, a lot of their star players. Quentin Williams out the door, Sauce Gardner out the door, and a lot of other guys. And the Browns, And the Jets, they still got a boatload of picks out of those trades too. So clearly they're trying to lose, and they're not trying to win. The Browns, on the other hand, made no significant moves at the deadline. All they did was trade Joe Tryon Troyenka for yet another, I think, 5th or 6th round pick. They can't get enough of those 5th and 6th round picks stacked up. But, the Browns found a way to lose yet again. And so in 27-20 to the New York Jets. And I'm going to give my quick thoughts on it if I get the guys up here. Obviously, I'm sure they'll have a lot to say tonight. But Tommy Reese's first game calling plays. Obviously, we all know Tommy Reese was handed over play calling duties from Kevin Stefanski. Some of the positives I like from this game today, though, it was a more balanced attack offensively. They scored 20 points, so that's a sign. We're off to a good start there, at least. Some improvement. But a lot of things we've been complaining about in the show a lot of weeks is too many drop back passes. There's been many weeks where they'll throw the ball 40 plus times or more with rookie quarterback and Dylan Gabriel and a not so great wide receiving core. And you have a guy in Quinshon Judkins, a younger back. You got Dylan Sampson. You even have Jerome Ford you can throw out there. You can got 3 guys you can rotate in. Obviously, mainly Judkins, who's a star in the making. But I like today, 32 pass attempts, 32 rushing attempts. Very balanced, right? That's what we want to see. Ran the ball for 4.9 yards carry, made 5 yards a pop today. That's phenomenal. 158 yards on 32 carries. They committed to the run finally today, which I thought was good. Now, the offensive line and pass protection did not have a great game today. They gave up a lot of sacks. I don't have the exact number, but I know it was a lot. A couple of those guys, McDonald, and some of those dudes. Quentin Williams' younger brother. I mean, those guys had a great day today. Pass protection was not great. This offensive line was much better, running the ball. And I thought Quinshon did a good job of finding certain seams and holes out of plays that looked like they would usually be busted, where, he was getting gathered at the line of scrimmage and he would find a seam and get out and get an extra 5-6 yards. And Quinshon today, he had, 22 carries, 75 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. His longest was 11 yards. Dylan Gabriel, 5 carries, 54 yards. He used his legs a lot more today. Malachi Corley even had a couple end arounds today at receiver. But overall, that's one positive I liked. I like that the philosophy offensively is starting to shift, more balanced, football. The problem with that, though, is when they threw the ball 32 times, it was only for 3.2 yards an attempt on average. And so yards per pass is only 3.2. And that's been the problem all year. They don't when they don't commit to the run, they would only rush for 3 yards a carry and would never commit to the run, so the running game never got going. Today they finally did that, but the one problem still remains the same. And that's when it comes to passing the ball with a shorter quarterback that's in the NFL, he just can't. I think you're kind of limited. And a receiving core that doesn't create separation consistently. When you watch it on film, they just do not consistently create separation. And 3.2 yards a pass per average, that's not great at all. That's terrible. You want to be around at least 10, somewhere in there, 8 to 10 at least. And so, again, I think that's the problem with the Browns right now. Obviously, Paul DePodesta, in my opinion, who was the head of the snake, with him, Barry, and Stefanski. Obviously, DePodesta leaves, goes to the Rockies. But I feel like now the Browns are kind of in a situation where they have to kind of rebuild the rebuild in a way. And maybe this is Stefanski has full autonomy now. And if so, I think Stefanski, they need to seriously get Shedeur Sanders ready, because Dylan Gabriel is clearly not the guy. We all know that. Dylan Gabriel, in my opinion, he's just too small to play quarterback in the NFL. He's left-handed as well, which I think has been an adjustment for guys in terms of receivers catching balls, trajectory on certain throws. It's a little different with left-handed guy, but he's just smaller. And I think at times you see that. And I think Tommy Reese would like to do a little bit more today, but I think he's kind of limited. I think he knows Dylan, obviously working with Dylan all these weeks, but he's still kind of figured out now fully as the offensive coordinator who's calling the plays. And so I think there's going to be some adjustments made. I think the Browns, number one, need to get Shedeur Sanders ready to play. We need to see what he has, because Dylan is who he is at this point. He hasn't really improved and shown anything to me through the X amount of games he's played that says, okay, that we need to stick with this guy or he gives us the best chance to win. I think he's hurting the team right now. I think he's limiting their offense. And you see that with the 3.2 yards, again, today per average. When you ran the ball, great. but you still couldn't do a little bit more in the passing game. You just couldn't. And so I think that's one area they got to get better. The other part of the game today as well, the special teams was atrocious, giving up 2 kick returns. I don't know what's going on with that unit. To me, that's a cultural thing, a coaching thing, started with Bubba Bentrone and Kevin Stefanski, who's the head coach. The attention to detail and the intensity of those units they're just never there. I mean, they give it up not once but twice. And if you watch the Browns, their special teams is always terrible. They've been terrible for years now. Punt coverage, just consistency with kicks. The punter is probably the bright spot, Corey Bajorquez. He's always on point. But everything else, it's just one of the most inconsistent units in all of the NFL. It's the special teams for the Browns. If you watch them, they're always inconsistent. They're never it's just – and the Browns as a team, it's not just – obviously special teams hurt them badly today, but just as a team, playing complementary football, special teams, offense, and defense in all 3 phases, the Browns never do that. They never play complementary football. And then you go to the play at the end of the game. Obviously, with less than a minute left, they get a stop. It's 3rd down. They're going to get the ball back. Now, the odds of them going down the field and scoring probably would have been pretty low, but still, you still have a shot. And Cam Thomas jumps off sides, and that's the game. And I think that play was just kind of like, to me, what the Cleveland Browns are. Undisciplined, no culture. They lack the details because of that. And their focus never seems to be there. And they just always seem 3 steps behind the other team they're playing, even a team in the Jets who literally traded away the whole team and are purposely trying to lose. And so today was a very bad loss. Today was a bad loss. And I'm not sure this is beyond just the win and loss record today. This goes down to your culture in that locker room, what the guys are feeling right now, and what they're thinking. And Kevin Stefanski after the game, because again, a lot of these guys, like I mentioned on my show in previous weeks, they all identify this stuff. All these cultural flaws, like the Browns have massive cultural flaws, and a lot of just the dysfunction and the stuff going on and the philosophy that's been going on behind the scenes. These players, they identify all that. A lot of these guys came from pretty good college programs and or have a common sense of football. They have a high pedigree in football. And so they can identify a lot of that. And, to me, I think this kind of loss today, going against a team that literally they all saw the trades they made going into this game. A lot of these guys probably think we're going to win this one. This is an easy win for us to get some positivity back in the building, and to still lose in the way they lost. And then for the coach after the game to go up there and to say what he said after the game about sticking, because if we all see that Dylan Gabriel is probably not that guy, Myles Garrett and all these guys definitely can. And I got a clip from Myles here in a second. But here's Kevin after the game and his thoughts. The same old message from Kevin as usual. Just got to be better.
Obviously, we're going to win as a team. We're going to lose as a team, so we'll all own that, including myself. But it's extremely disappointing, some of the moments in that game in terms of how that game unfolded. Obviously, you can't give up 2 return touchdowns that in the first quarter, and that kind of set us back initially. And then we just didn't do a good enough job in any facet. Just didn't do a good enough job, and that's a disappointing part for me and for this football team. But we're just going to keep swinging.
So it wasn't, we just got to get better. It was just didn't do a good enough job this week. Now, we got to change at least. Usually he says we just got to be better. This week it's, we just got to keep swinging. So that's an improvement from Kevin. At least he's, using different, verbiage now at his post-game press conference. But Kevin also said after the game that he's sticking with Dylan Gabriel yet again. So Dylan Gabriel is going to be your starter next week. I can't know who they playing next week. They're going against. Yeah, because I completely lost track already, guys, because I have this season, my gosh. Next week, they get to play at home against the Ravens. Beautiful. So Lamar's coming to town. So, again, we're rolling out Dylan Gabriel next week. Myles Garrett, after the game, I thought had some pretty interesting comments. When asked about the quarterback position, here's what Myles had to say.
Kevin said that he's sticking with Dylan Gabriel moving forward. What kind of fight and heart are you seeing in Dylan, and what do you guys think? What do you think about that?
What do I think about what?
What do you think about the fact that you guys are sticking with the status quo, or Kevin's sticking with the status quo and continuing to go with Dylan instead of turning it over to Shador?
Quarterback direction has nothing to do with me. I'm worried about the defense and us giving up the points that we did and the first downs we did. Who we stick with the quarterback is up to Kevin.
Very interesting answer there from Myles Garrett, in my opinion. Very eye-opening. I think if you look at his body language there when she asked him the question initially, he kind of took a second to kind of gather his thoughts, and then he gave the answer he gave to say that, quarterback position has nothing to do with me. A lot of guys, when they believe in their quarterback, especially a guy like Myles Garrett, who's a franchise player, would say, we stand behind Dylan. It's not just on Dylan, it's on all of us, blah, 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 and give some confidence to your quarterback. He didn't say that at all. He just said, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Go ask Kevin. Basically saying, I kind of see what everybody else sees, but all I can do is do what I can control over here on defense. Go ask Kevin when he plans on making that move, or whoever. Maybe not Kevin. Go ask ownership or somebody, whoever's in charge, to make that decision. Hopefully it happens soon. But I thought that was very interesting there for Myles. Very interesting answer. And obviously Myles is a guy who we saw 2 weeks ago was throwing his helmet on a 5-sack career day. He's throwing his helmet. He's in the media after the game, pissed off, saying he'd give away all 5 of those sacks, just have better team success in the win. And Myles has been visibly frustrated and made it known that he's frustrated pretty much. He even said it earlier, was it 3 weeks ago, said he's very frustrated. He's tired of losing. Doesn't want to go down the Joe Thomas, trajectory of being a great player at number 1 and in a bad situation in Cleveland. But, very interesting, I thought, Myles' comments. And that it's something I think is going to keep unfolding every week, because I don't expect the Browns to win many games at all the rest of the season, if any. I'm sure they'll win a couple, but I don't have high hopes on any game, really. Because I just organizationally, they are so bad in the dysfunction, and to keep rolling out this guy quarterback who is actually hurting you as a team and an offense because he's not an NFL starting quarterback. Guys in that locker room, they're going to get, it's not just going to be Myles that's going to get more frustrated. It's going to be a lot of guys are going to be more frustrated. On a brighter note, again, at least they had a more balanced attack today. And, Deep Podesta is not in the building anymore. So that's a start. But they still got a lot of areas to fix. And ultimately, it goes to you, Jimmy Haslam. Again, I think Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, I'm willing to give them the rest of the season because they have to. With Deep Podesta not there anymore. But at the end of the season, if it was me, I would still clean house. They need a whole new shift. They need a whole new shakeup. They need somebody in there that's a program builder and has proven and has done it before. Not a first-time coach like Kevin, not a first-time GM like Andrew, and not a baseball guy who's an analytic guy and Paul DePodesta. Let's bring him over. No, we need some people in there that are proven and have built programs and built teams that have had success, and build that foundation and the standards every day. Install that and build a culture. That's what we need. And so until Jimmy Haslam realizes that, you're going to be seeing a lot of these kind of losses from the Browns in the future. And we've already seen a lot in my whole lifetime. You're going to see a lot more. Because what Zach Jackson said this week, I don't know if you guys caught this, what Zach Jackson said on the All the Cleveland Sports Show, that next year's team, because of the finances with the Deshaun contract, could be worse than this year's team. Yikes. That is, you can't have that in a locker room. Cannot have, especially these that's bad. Bad. Cannot have that. Because the overall health of the locker room will deteriorate very, very fast, and could be something that we haven't seen before, which we've seen a lot in Cleveland. So I got some of his comments real quick. Parent John, fire everyone. Someone take Jimmy's drugs away. Owens, he said, let's go Maslin. Raul's in the house. Kent State has more wins than the Browns. Oh, boy. And a fortunate fact, Raul also likes to subscribe and share, folks. Absolutely. The professional fan will be up here in a second. Didn't Max Crosby play Easter? Yes, he did. Parent John. Yes, he did. Sherry, Aunt Sherry's in the house. You two look so darn good. Oh, thank you, Aunt Sherry. Love you. Hope you're doing well. Good seeing you as always. Draft up its alignment under 5-3 next year. I think he did, Parent John. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Wishing Nick the best of luck going forward. Absolutely. Rodney, good to see you. He says, talk about Shador, QB1. Tunes in the house. Go subscribe to Tune In Sports, best Cavs content creator out there, and I'll be over there reacting to the games with him whenever he's live and drops the link. So go subscribe to Tune In Sports. Big bank for me. Browns are hot cheeks. Worst team in any sport. Ain't no doubt about that. My man from Chicago said, don't use any excuses on the show today, bro. I don't use excuses. You know that, man. But I just tell how I see it. I just tell it how I see it. But good to see you as always, Q Dog. Yeah, it's time for Shador. I agree, gents. Browns blow ass, he said. Yeah, cracking eggs. You remember what J.W. Johnson, the son-in-law of owner Jimmy Haslam, said? You know, they're going to keep cracking eggs. Sometimes you got to crack a few eggs till you make a good an omelet, you know, and they're going to keep cracking eggs in Berea. That's a lot of carton of eggs they went through. That motherfucker sound like a broken record. Talking about Stefanski. Yeah. Beast Girls, good to see you, brother. And if Steelers lose this game to the Chargers, they are really going to be feeling the pressure because Ravens are on a roll. That's going to be something to see and keep an eye on, Beast Girls, for sure. Great point there. But joining me now, waiting patiently, my guys, the professional fan, the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Michael Antonace is in the house.
Hello.
Mike? Oh, wait. There we go. Right.
Kind of like a waterfall.
Yeah. Also joining us, you know, straight out of Detroit, always telling us his opinion and keeping it real. Gurge is in the house. Gurge.
I wouldn't say straight out. It's been about 20 years since I've been there, but yeah.
All right, well, that works.
Once in Detroit.
Yeah.
20 years Detroit. Straight out. What's the difference?
Yeah. But from Detroit.
There you go.
And also joining us back again is Jersey. He's back in the house.
What's up?
Hello.
Howdy.
Sure you guys will see a much different Jersey here coming real soon. Mike, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be honest. I'm kind of glad we lost because in the tankathon, if you will, I mean, the season's been lost, right? So now it's like we're in a tank contest between us, the Saints, the Jets. The Titans are just what they are, but we're in a tank contest with two other teams that need a quarterback, one of which is the Jets, the other which being the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints won today. Oh, and the Dolphins, I'm sorry. The Dolphins won today, and the Jets beat us. So now we have a pretty high pick. But jokes aside, not terribly surprised with the outcome. I've been on you guys know me, I don't really call for people's jobs, but I've been on the fire Bubba Ventrone train since last season. I'm not a fan of Bubba Ventrone, haven't been for some time. To give him the smallest amount of courtesy, the one thing he did right today was the kicking unit getting out with 5 seconds and no timeouts and making a field goal. That was kind of impressive. But other than that, horrible outing from the special teams unit. I think it might be one of the worst I've ever seen. I don't know if it's like historically bad. I don't know if there's been another time where a special teams unit has allowed not only a kickoff touchdown, but a punt return touchdown in the same game. I'll have to look that up. But
same quarter.
In the same quarter, yeah.
First 10 minutes.
That might be the record. I don't know if it was. I was just saying I don't know if it's ever happened in the same game, let alone in the same corner. But anyway, just horrible effort by the special teams unit. The defense did what it always does. It always plays well, gets tired. I'm kind of aligned with you, Joseph, on the play calling side. I thought Tommy Rees did a decently good job his first time calling plays. The execution obviously wasn't great by the offense, specifically Dylan Gabriel in the offensive line. But the receivers didn't look terrible today. Judy had like one drop, which is on par for him. But, Gabriel just had so many errant throws, and it's very obvious. So there were some times where it's like, okay, he obviously couldn't see the receiver because he's a little guy. But then there were other times where the ball was just coming out weird out of his hand, and he was just like dirting it. And he like dried his hands, oh yeah, my hands are wet. That's why. But I don't know. Gabriel was not good. And here, I know he's a rookie quarterback, but at the end of the day, you need to see what both rookies have. And for Kevin to at least not even like, I don't know if he's playing the PR coach speak and they actually are going to look at going to Shador after today or not. But yeah, that was
What was
for
your
them not
thoughts
to-
on well, I'm going off of that quarterback situation. What was your thoughts about Myles' comments about when he was asked about it? I thought that was pretty telling.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious that, I mean, Myles helped Shador a ton in the offseason. Like, he would stay up after with Shador and like explain what he sees and everything. You didn't really see him doing that with Dylan Gabriel. You only saw him do that with Shador. I think the guys in the locker room really enjoy Shador. I don't know. I haven't heard of anybody, like at least in the offseason when we were still there, talk about like, oh yeah, dude, I went to Chili's with Dylan Gabriel. It was a great time. We got Dollaritas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know people hanging out with this kid, man. And like, yeah, man, it's frustrating, but it's to the point where it's like the season's lost. I'm like, get me to the draft, and I'm like, what can the Browns do to improve? You know, there are the bones of a team are there for the most part, but you need like foundational pillars. It's kind of like personal note, I'm moving into a new house of which I am currently podcasting from and removing wallpaper and priming. And that's kind of what the Browns remind me of. It's like, you know, I can see a vision, but it's like you got to make the right steps to get there. Now, whether that's coaching changes, rebuilding the offensive line, new quarterback, new receiving core, what have you, like I see the vision, but the team really just has to make the right steps. And here, I don't. And to get back to the coaching thing, because Joseph, you touched on it, on you know, do we clean house? Do we not clean house? You know, I'm still of the mind where it's like I think I don't know how you go back to these guys after experiences like that in the past 2 seasons. I don't know what that does for the morale, and I don't even know, like from a coaching standpoint, like maybe Kevin's head fucked up now at this point too, where it's like he won't be able to go back to what he was before all of this chicanery happened. And I think a new vision is maybe is needed. But yeah, 2 first-round picks. It looks like you're going to have one in the top 5. There are a couple good quarterbacks. Maybe Shador is great, and you don't need to get a quarterback, and you can get the best tackle in the draft there. Which, my God, that would be so good because the tackles are so bad. The tackles are so bad. They made Will McDonald look like Myles Garrett today. Like, Will McDonald is not a bad player by any means, but he is not that good. And they made him look like freaking like Micah Parsons on like testosterone. Like I just don't understand. Like, very disappointing outing by the offense, but that's been the horse and pony show this whole year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
exactly.
been them all year. Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
So, but yeah.
B Skrill says, salute. Joseph kept that pressure on them fools. Yeah, you already know what time it is. I'm going to keep applying pressure. I'm telling it, just speaking facts. But B Skrill says it's a wrap. Cracking eggs. They've cracked about 12,000 eggs at this point. I think more than that. And now go Chargers. Mary Kay stands to okay. Browns are butt cheeks. He just put the comment in. Yep. Also joins us, we have another guest who just popped in the back. From the mayor of Canada, as I call him. Dan's in the house.
Yo.
Hey, boy.
What's up?
What's up? Appreciate you for tuning in or joining, bro. Not tuning in, but thanks for joining tonight, brother.
How could I not after this spectacular Sunday of football?
Yeah, for sure. We'll go around the horn here. Obviously, Mike just gave his take. So, Gerg, you go ahead. Your thoughts on the game.
Well, the Browns are cheeks. No, they here at the end of the day, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, especially on the show, and I'm sure comments will hate me. I don't think you can blame the loss on Dylan Gabriel at all. They had 4 drops. Okay, so that they catch the ball. They do their job. He's 21 of 32. Has probably takes him to 200 yards passing, probably 50 yards rushing. I mean, he was running for his life. The offensive line was terrible. He didn't have a turnover. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't think he's a starting NFL quarterback either. But I don't know what Browns fans, I guess, expect with the Shador thing. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round before Shador Sanders. They're going to give him time to play. I mean, they're just going to. I don't think Shador Sanders does much better. Shador Sanders is historically known for holding onto the ball too long. So does that 6 sacks turn into 11 sacks? I mean, he isn't going to run for 50 yards, escape out of the pocket. I just don't see the Shador fans coming in and saying like he would have made a difference. Like I mean, here's the real problem. In 9 games, the Browns are averaging 7 second half points. 7 second half points. You go in at halftime, you do your adjustments, and they come out and they can't average more than 7 points in the second half. That means you're a terrible coach.
It's not like there's any adjustments.
You have no adjustments. You're getting out coached every second half. Every single one. And that includes a really good second half where they had against Miami. And then the garbage time 14 points. Without that, they're well under 7 points in the second half. Today against a tanking Jets team, they had 3 second half points. 3. I don't I mean, they threw the ball downfield a little bit more today than I have seen them. I think yes, I agree. Shador Sanders is going to get his time. He's going to play the last 4 or 5 games. I think we need to be patient on getting Shador in. I don't know what the rush is to get Shador in because he's still going to be throwing to these receivers. He's still going to be behind this awful offensive line, and he's still going to be on the same team as this terrible special teams. I don't understand the rush to get a guy in to a position that is probably the worst job in the NFL, and that's the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I don't understand. Like, what are we waiting for? I mean, what is the rush? I honestly, I mean, Judy dropped 2 balls today, and it's just like, I mean, 2 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, 50 rushing yards. I don't understand. Like, what else do you want from a rookie? Like, he did enough to win the game. He did enough against the New York Jets to win the game. The New York Jets threw the ball and had 60 some yards of passing yards in this game. They had 60 some passing yards. I mean, Dylan Gabriel was the best quarterback on the field today in that game.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'd take Fields over him. At least Fields, at least I got legs consistently.
I'm saying in this game. I'm saying in the game.
I don't know. Here, my thing with Dylan, I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm not blaming it all on Dylan, but at all. I'm not saying it's all on him. It's really more the organization. It's just a reflection of the organization again. But my whole thing, he's limited.
Of course.
They can't really. Tommy Reese isn't gonna be able to really expand anything off this offense. That's a problem with the Browns. Their offense really, they don't. The Browns never have any progression off of, like, they'll have their initial quick hitter plays that they'll run, but they never progress off of their base system. They don't ever, because they can't.
Exactly, but they're not going to be able to Shador either.
No, but I think with
Dylan was
Shador,
sacked 6
well, we don't know. I
times
mean,
today.
I think with Shador though, you can do some things a little different just because he's taller.
I understand that.
And I think there's some areas where he's a little better than Dylan in the pocket. Where there's just areas where Dylan's better, but I think Shador's just that's why I said Shador's the better NFL upside, just because.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's right. I'm not rushing him out there, but they are in a situation though where I think, you got that 2 first-round picks. You got to kind of figure out what you're going to do here. You got to see what this guy has, because I'm not taking another quarterback in next year's draft if Shador goes out there and shows me that, and I feel like I can move with him going forward. But I also don't want to take another quarterback and not play Shador enough,
but
and then have him in a room again with another guy. Like, I don't want that. We need to get down and just find one guy and roll.
I agree with that, but don't you think there's a reason why they're not even putting him out in the games? He's clearly not showing enough in practice.
I don't trust their practice evaluation. That's the problem.
Well, I don't trust them in general.
Yeah, I don't trust any of their, and that's why I think Myles' comments after the game, to me, I mean, these are the same. They made one of the worst 3rd-round picks ever. He's going to go down as one of the worst 3rd-round picks and reaches ever. So their evaluation to me means nothing, because I think they're wrong to begin with. I think when Shador gets put out there, it's simply because he was told to put him out there. I don't think Kevin ever had any interest in Shador to begin with. I think this little regime, this him and the guy that just left and the Barry, their guy was the guy that's out there right now. That's who they've invested the most in. That's who they've given the most opportunity to.
But but that's normal.
But here's where Stefanski's wrong in his preparation. This guy is 1 snap away from going out on the field, and he hasn't taken a single first team rep yet. That's terrible. He's not prepared. That's their fault.
Joseph, I've been saying fire Stefanski for 2.5 years. I mean, you won't find a guy.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, Kevin Stefanski is clearly an issue. I mean, he's not
2-time coach of the year.
Like I said, I mean, for you to average 7 points in an NFL second half, I mean, that means you just can't make adjustments. You can't make adjustments.
Right.
You can't get your team to go out there and win when it matters, which is second half.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of football is when it matters.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, first half does matter, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you can't get more than 7 points on average, and like that's just awful.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, we all, both of these guys, no matter who we want to see out there or whatever, they're both victims of this bad. They could be good seeds in bad soil,
100%.
like a lot of players. And so that's the issue at the end of the day. But my thing with Shador is, with that, like I just can't get over it. He's 1 snap away, and he hasn't gotten a single first team rep. I mean, that's crazy.
I guess what gets me is, if Shador Sanders played today and had the same game as Dylan Gabriel, no one would say anything about how he played. And that is what I don't understand. And I don't know why we're rushing him and proclaiming he is the savior of the Cleveland Browns when
they're trying to find a spark, dude.
I get that, but what's the spark?
No, the unknown.
You mean number 26 in how many years? I mean,
believe me, I don't understand it either. I mean, here
we have to stop. Listen, the Cleveland Browns, what they did, though, drafting, all that good stuff, what they did was awful. I get it. But we have to stop rushing Shador Sanders onto the field and wanting to see him play, when in reality, he's just simply going to be the same product of the Cleveland Browns as every single quarterback that's came before him, until they get rid of this, or Barry and Stefanski. But if you're asking me who I'd rather have at quarterback, I would rather have Shador Sanders over Dylan Gabriel. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why are you...
Get him, chat. He's a Shador hater. Get him.
No, I'm not.
Uh-huh.
But...
Get him, chat.
I just
they already are.
I get it. Here.
Come for him, chat.
And it's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. I'm
Yep.
just I'm just letting you know that if if Dylan or Shador Sanders had the game Dylan Gabriel had today, where he had 4 drop passes, 50 rushing yards, sacked 6 times, no turnovers, 2 passing touchdowns, you guys would have acted, not you on the panel, but the fans of Shador Sanders would have been like, oh, I told you, he's way better than Gabriel. He's where was this whole time? It's the special teams' fault. It's the special teams' fault. Like, why are we acting like Dylan Gabriel had a poopy game?
Well, he did have a poopy game, Chris.
What?
I thought he was terrible.
He was 17 for 32, got sacked 6 times, and threw for 160 yards. I mean, he missed wide open throws. He overthrew a hitch route.
I know.
To a wide
And
open
break it
Malachi
over
Corley that would have
He
ran
had
for 40 yards after he caught the ball.
I understand, but he had 4 drop passes, so there you go. So now it's 21 of 32 should have been probably 200 yards. Still didn't have a turnover and was running for his life, 50 yards rushing. I mean, Shador's not getting 50 yards rushing today. Shador's probably getting sacked 10
why
times.
is that even worth talking about?
What?
Why is that even worth talking about?
Because all you hear and all you see is, why isn't Shador playing? Why isn't Shador playing? Mary Kay asking Shador Sanders questions.
That's not what I'm asking. Why is Kevin Stefanski still our head coach is what I want to know.
Exactly. That's
I don't
what
care
I'm
who
saying.
the quarterback is. If you're throwing to Jamari Thrash and Cedric Tillman, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is.
There
it does
you
not
go.
matter at all. We all knew this. We knew this when they drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. We knew it on draft day. We
That's
knew
what
it,
I'm saying.
We knew they were going to be 3-14 for the season when we saw the roster roll out. I mean, it is what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing I can't get behind is we can't start celebrating like, oh yeah, we're so happy they lose because we're tanking and all this shit. It's like, these are professional athletes. None of those guys in the locker room want to lose, and that's what has corroded the heads of so many people in the locker room before, is because the fans seem to think they know what it is and start to get happy in week 10 and start talking about the draft like we're just going to bomb away this year and we're going to get some great draft pick next year. Well, guess what? That draft pick, whoever it is going to walk into a shitty-ass culture with a bunch of dudes that aren't proud of talking about where they work and what NFL team they play for, and it's just rinse and repeat. It's a broken cycle. You eventually have to start winning, and the heads of the players in the locker room matter. You can't just lose out and be celebrating that you got 2 first-round picks in the top 10 like we're going to have some magic draft next year with the idiots that we have making draft picks. It doesn't work that way. So I don't want to hear about the tankathon and we're so glad we lost today and all the other shit like that. Nobody in that locker room is glad they lost today. We got one of the greatest defensive players of all time who cannot wait to figure out a way to get off our team, even though we just paid him $200 million.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't wait to figure
them,
out a way to get off that team.
Yeah, and he finessed them. I mean, I heard somebody make a good point this week. They're like, Myles knew what he was doing all along. He knew Jimmy would cave and pay him. If you think about it, he was right. Myles knew if I go out there and go about it the way he did, Jimmy had to pay him because he wasn't going to trade him. He didn't want to trade him.
Meanwhile, we're watching a whole league full of quarterbacks that we either passed on or didn't think we could do anything with. And everyone thinks this quarterback thing is just a magical switch. Let's just draft the quarterback and our team's going to be better. Well, do you think Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold could have came to this team in the offseason and been leading our team the way they're leading the environments they rolled into?
Exactly.
Absolutely not. It's broken.
That's
it's broken.
What I'm saying.
You don't draft a quarterback and wave a magic wand. They're going to fail.
I'm glad you brought that point up because I keep hearing that notion throughout some of the people in the local media saying, well, especially this week when Deep Podesta left, you had the people up there trying to act like it wasn't a big deal. And we don't know what he did. That's what they always say. We don't know what he did. And they just don't have a quarterback. That's it. They got to get a quarterback. Well,
yeah, it's the magic
they're not going to get a quarterback because they can't develop. Number one, they can't identify one and they can't develop one. So until you get people in here who know how to do that, we're more than just a quarterback away. We're a lot of things away. I mean, like you were pointing out. I mean, it drives me crazy when people say that.
I'm saying.
And we agree. I mean, they just, it's crazy. Jimmy Cleveland, shout out to you for the $20. He said Shador won Johnny United's Golden Arm Award. We're not rushing anyone. If you watched his college football, we're tired of losing.
Yeah, Chris.
Havoc said, Chris, what's the purpose of keeping DG out there?
The purpose is
Chris likes
you're
Hawaiian
right. They're
pizza.
going to lose regardless. But how many starts has DG had this year? They drafted him first. He's
Yeah,
their
but
first
Chris,
quarterback
there's no
they
chance.
drafted.
There's no chance they're sticking with Gabriel long term. I think it's what everyone's trying to
100%.
get across.
No,
I mean, so it's like if you're in
obviously.
evaluation mode and you're like trying to figure out what you're going to do in the draft next year, you should probably figure out if you need to draft a quarterback in the first round or not. Because if Shedeur does come out there and performs half well, you really need an offensive line and you really need wide receivers and you really need all these things. And if they think he can be an NFL talent and actually lead a team and start training camp day one as a quarterback, he needs playing time.
Yeah,
like it's not about this season. It's not about Dylan Gabriel. It's about everything past that and trying to put the best product out there and keep the locker room's head right and the fan base right in the meantime. So you kind of know what you have in Dylan Gabriel now. He's probably a lifelong NFL backup, if not third stringer. He's Kellen Moore, dude. He's Kellen Moore.
I don't disagree. What I'm saying is I don't disagree with you, but what I'm getting at is if you literally feel that you can evaluate a quarterback on this Cleveland Browns team and say what he can be literally 5 games into his career, like that's impossible to do.
Well, you're not going to be able to judge him by his wins and losses this year, but you can judge his in-game playmaking ability. You can judge his reads. You can judge his presence, his leadership, like all those things. He needs 100%. Reps to do that. That's what you need.
1,000%.
And I'm not even a big Shedeur fan. I've never been, but I'm obviously not a Dylan Gabriel fan either. I mean,
Shedeur's going to play. Like I'm not saying Shedeur shouldn't play at all. I'm just saying, like, for people to sit here and act like and
you're just saying you hate Shedeur Sanders. I get it.
The reason why Dylan Gabriel, they did not lose because of Dylan Gabriel today.
I agree. They lost because special teams and terrible non-adjustments at halftime
and no discipline
and coaching and no discipline. We jumped. It was 4th down, and the Browns literally jump off sides to end the game.
Everyone in the stadium knew that play was not getting run.
Yeah,
and we jumped.
You got out-coached by a rookie head coach
who, coming off a bye week, who their team might actually actively be trying to lose.
Yeah, I mean,
there were guys on the field that I've never heard of that were playing for the Jets today.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson didn't have a catch. Like if Garrett Wilson doesn't have a catch, Justin Fields.
Well, one of our wide receivers is a wide receiver they cut. So that tells you about our wide receiver room.
I mean, to sit here and act like it's Dylan Gabriel's fault is just a joke.
It's not about Dylan Gabriel, dude. It's been time to move on from Stefanski for 2 years, and it's long overdue. I really thought at that game ended that today was going to be the last day that I looked like the NFL head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and I could not be happier about it. I thought today was the last day. I thought we were going to get that about the Dable. Is Brian Dable fired, by the way? I got rumors about him being fired after the game.
Mike, do you know anything about that? I haven't had time to look.
No, I have not seen that.
I haven't seen anything now.
Okay, all right.
They
might have
said
been a mistweet or something then, but
they win that game if Jackson Dart doesn't get a concussion. I mean, they were up. I mean, it just Russell Wilson came in, and after that, we all know that story.
I think Jim Schwartz needs a chance to lead this team for the remainder of the season before someone comes and grabs him and makes him head coach somewhere else.
We'll get to that in a minute. Jersey, your thoughts on the game?
Well, here I only watched the last 5-6 minutes, but same old bullshit. It's just here. I agree with Gergs. It doesn't matter who's in there QB. It's a cultural issue. It is lack of culture. You know, I agree with Dan too. Like, none of these fucking players want to lose. Here, losing degrades your culture. You know what I mean? So, they all need wiped out. The other two need wiped out, and plus anybody else in that front office that's part of that bullshit. It's a shame that these players got to go out and do this every Sunday. I don't give a shit. They're getting paid millions of dollars. Doesn't matter. It's a shame that they're not put in the best position. They're not given great coaching, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on, and the fans got to keep doing it. The fans first and foremost, because we pay the bills. So it's a shame. I mean, and to see that guy, I don't know who the hell that number 99 is. I mean,
Cam Thomas.
Cam
yeah,
Thomas.
I mean, the offense pretty much could have just said, "Hey, we're never going to snap this ball. Okay, we're never going to snap this ball," and his jackass jumps off sides. I mean,
The
that
offensive lineman celebrated in his face when he did it.
and,
A celebration victory offside.
and,
He did
the
the gritty in
Jets
his face.
and the Jets coach was laughing. I mean, what in the hell? So it doesn't matter. And here, Dylan Gabriel, you could put Dylan Gabriel. Um, you could put him over Denver's playing. What's Denver 8-2 right now? Dylan Gabriel is absolute shit as a player. You know what I mean? So there's no upside to Dylan Gabriel. The guy can't see over the fucking offensive line. He should have never been drafted. Again, so here he's not to blame, but he shouldn't be in the league, and he'll never even be a third stringer. So
We should trade every third round pick we ever get. We don't have much luck in that round.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just fucking. It's just it's ridiculous. But there has to be somebody putting deep at us the slot, and Jimmy and Haslam needs to say, "Here, dude, create a culture." You know what I mean? Build me a winning team. Build me a winning organization. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to pay you. Build me a winning organization. Bring in whoever you want. You know what I mean? Until that happens, it's going to be the same old shit. And like Stefanski, I would fire Stefanski just for the fact that he hasn't resigned yet. Because if the people that like Stefanski, how could you like him if he sat? If you think he's so good,
I don't even know any that do. Since Mike jumped off the bandwagon, he was the last one.
well, yeah, I mean, like, if he was a good coach, he would have resigned by now. He wouldn't deal with this bullshit. You know what I mean? He wouldn't stay in this culture.
He might be waiting to be fired.
I quit. I couldn't. I mean, I could not go to work every day doing this shit if I was worth a shit.
Well, he wants a gig after this one, so he might think that looks better if he gets fired than quitting.
Not me. To me, I wouldn't hire the guy just for the fact that he didn't resign.
I mean, wouldn't that be kind of unprecedented, though? I don't know many NFL head coaches that have resigned.
Mike, if he would again, if
Didn't Kyle Shanahan resign on the Browns?
I'll have to Google though.
Didn't he write a letter when Petten was our coach? He wrote a letter and he just didn't even show up the next day.
I'll find that out right now.
He would if he's a good coach. Here, all these GMs, all these executives within the league, they all know if he's a good coach, he'll get a gig. But I mean, I don't think he should be trying to lead a team. I don't think that's who the guy is. I say it all the time. You know, I'm sure there's a spot for him on a team, but he's just not someone that's getting the troops all fired up. And
he needs to be
here, you watch him in the press conference. He may as well be a gosh darn politician because all he does is get up there. And this is your term. He likes filibuster, Mike. He just filibusters it. He says absolutely nothing. You watch that guy in a 20-minute press conference, and he absolutely says nothing. And he has done it for how many years now? I mean, yeah, we got to be better. We got to be. Mary Kay, I got to watch the tape. You know, says absolutely nothing. So I haven't. It's terrible.
Yeah, it says Kyle Shanahan resigned from the Cleveland Browns in January of 2015, leaving his position as offensive coordinator after one season. He presented a 32-point argument to head coach Mike Petten, explaining why he wanted to leave the team and be released from his contract. The departure followed a season where Shanahan and other coaches reportedly had issues with the team's personnel department and the use of electronic devices during games.
Yep. I remember that.
No one would hold it against Stefanski if he did resign. But I'm just saying, I thought about that today. I'm like, if this guy was really worth a shit, he would have bounced. I mean, I know I would have. I wouldn't stay in a horrific culture like that. So, yeah, I think the question is, who the hell are they going to put in that spot? You know, who's going to come in and actually build an actual franchise, a legitimate like NFL franchise in Cleveland?
No one.
Gosh darn. You know what I mean?
Probably no one.
Well, to make it better, Jersey, Paulie Podesta was in attendance today at the Browns game. He walked.
That's
up
why
the
they
field.
lost. That's why they lost. That asshole just being in attendance. Now, on the flip side, the good news is,
Well, I mean, he
deep
was
in
with
S-
Bubba Ventrone. You know,
I think he helped call that 4th and 1 play where we dropped back.
yeah, the good news is that asswipe is almost out of town. We scored 20 points, and
We're gonna find a new ass wipe, though. You know that.
we rushed the ball half the time. You know what I mean?
Before him, we had Sashi Brown. Before him, we're gonna find another ass wipe coming in.
Oh my gosh, Dan, you weren't on the show earlier this week. Who do you think, if you give me 3 guys right now that you think could come in here that you'd like to see that could build an actual team?
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because it would take some modern miracles to have that happen with Jamari Thrash as your wide receiver 3. Has he caught a pass this year?
Jamari Thrash. I'll pull up his
What's he
season.
caught? Has he run a route this year? I mean, that's our wide receiver 3. Has he done anything this season?
Jamari Thrash's stats for the year: 10 receptions, 107 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay, I must have missed those. That's our wide receiver 3, by the way. Most teams' backup tight end has more stats.
The last 5 games, he's had 9 targets, caught 6 of them for 89 yards.
Wow, that's
Not
WR3.
even 100 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I really don't know. There's I don't know that Brian Flores can do that. I mean, you're going to need an offensive spark guy that's going to bring some talented people with him, that's got a camp of people that can come in that knows what they're doing, so you don't get a bunch of young bucks, inexperienced, that once those Cleveland Boo Birds come out, not Cliff Kingsbury, please.
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
Oh my God.
Can't tell, no. Whatever Wikipedia page you're on, close it.
Big Cliff Kingsbury.
I really don't know the answer to that question. I really don't know. I mean, you'd have to dig deep. You might have to pull someone that's been off the bench for quite a while. You might need to go like Bill Cowher and get him out of the box and bring him down to Cleveland and put him on the sideline to bring that kind of culture and gritty, like AFC North football toughness. Someone that doesn't mind running the ball when the other team knows that you're going to run the ball.
Oh yeah.
That is what football is all about. And all these modern mathematicians and nerds and geeks, they like to trick the mentality of football. Please no Mike McCarthy either. God, no.
There just really isn't anybody except like newer guys that are having success. Like I'm a big Clint Kubiak guy. Love to have Clint Kubiak out here. A Mike LaFleur is another name.
More nerds.
If you can get Mike LaFleur over here,
more nerds. But all nerds.
Mike LaFleur is I mean, here he's the offensive coordinator over at the Rams. His brother is a successful coach in Green Bay. Like, I don't think Mike LaFleur would be
about
a bad
the easiest job on the planet. Go be an offensive coordinator for Sean McVay with Matthew Stafford playing quarterback and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams playing receiver, Mike. I could be their OC. No wonder I didn't even know his name. You're clicking mouse buttons there, dude. They got a stacked team.
Hold on. Let me get this off real quick. Jimmy Cleveland for the $10. Appreciate you, brother. If Kevin was a good coach, he would have been playing Shador to throw accurately. Would have won 3 of the close games we lost.
Oh, I don't know about that, Jimmy. Come on now.
Jesus
Christ. I tell you what, Jimmy, you're generous, so I love it, though. Here to touch on what the Stefanski's reaction when he was asked about whether or not Shador was going to play or Gabriel was going to play next week, however it was phrased, he looked in absolute disgust. To me, it was like basically I was a Mary Kate asked that question.
I got it right here. I'll play it again because I was going to ask you. I know you saw this. We watched this live when they streamed it. So here's Myles again.
Okay, Kevin said that he's sticking with Dylan Gabriel moving forward. You know, what kind of fight and heart, you know, are you seeing in Dylan, and what do you guys think?
What do I think about what?
What do you think about the fact that you guys are sticking with the status quo? Kevin's
He's buying time.
And continuing to
no
go
comment.
with Dylan instead of turning it over to Shador.
Quarterback direction has nothing to do with me. I'm worried about the defense and us giving up the points that we did in the first downs we did. Who we stick with the quarterback is up to Kevin.
So here, when she asked, or somebody asked Stefanski, you could just see the disgust in his face, like the thought of playing Shador Sanders. I felt like it was just like you actually could see some emotion in the guy, and it just seemed like disgust. Like there ain't no way in hell I'm giving any thought to this guy, because it's just how quick he was. Well, we're sticking with Dylan. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was very obvious.
Well, he doesn't want Shador to come in and latch on because that's directly handing his job to Deion Sanders.
Well, here the other thing too is I think Stefanski is one of those guys that he can't stand having a guy out there that's an alpha. Like he's not going to be able to just. I mean, Shador Sanders got obviously the personality he has and his following. Kevin's not going to be able to bully him around. You know what I mean? I think he's one of those guys that likes a little, he likes betas out there. It makes him feel like more of a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
he likes his system people for sure.
yeah, he can just push around. I'm not going to question him. Where I think Shador Sanders, he seems like the kind of guy that's going to be like he calls a plan like fully old Gary Payton, like, you know what I mean, and start questioning his ass. And so he
didn't like
just
Baker Mayfield. And Stump Mitchell was there and said it. He said Kevin just didn't jive well with Baker.
well, yeah, because that's how Baker Mayfield is. You know what I mean? Baker here is just he's not a beta. You know what I mean? He's gonna, if he don't like the shit, I'm sure he's that kind of guy that says, here, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? So I mean, that's how it seems to me. So but on the same token, I really don't know if I want another quarterback to go out there and play, because it's like I believe most of these quarterbacks have a shot to play in this league a long time. It's just do they get coached properly, developed properly, or do they get ruined? And so I don't want to see any guy get ruined. So it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like I said, you can bring Tom Brady back in his prime, it'd still be absolute garbage until they fix it from the top down, like President Football Operations all the way down. It's gonna be trash.
Just run Wildcat all year.
Okay, I got the I think this is what you're talking about right here. This is Stefanski. Give me 1 second. Here's Stefanski post game.
Was getting Jerry involved an emphasis this week?
Yes, and it should be an emphasis every week, really.
How about
That's a hell of an
just
answer.
the fact that you guys gave up 6 sacks, 4 by Will McDonald? What kind of was the situation there?
Again, probably premature to say anything until I look at it, Mary Kay, but it's very typically a combination of things, whether it's offensive line, protection plan, getting open, all those things.
Are there times where you think like Dylan just isn't seeing it as quickly, and especially when you talk about some of those sacks that were taken, you think he's just like seeing the field quickly and clearly?
Yeah, not fair until I look at it, Daniel, but it's very easy to put sacks just right on the offensive line. We got to look at all of it and find ways to work together in those areas.
Kevin, what do you feel like is an adequate sample size to properly evaluate a quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback?
Yeah, it's hard for me to speculate, but every single outing that our guys get, we're going to look at it and try and learn from it.
With you guys, losing this game and kind of now being behind the 8 ball,
Ultimate
do you stick with
deflection.
Dylan Gabriel after this game, or do you think about making a change?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Dylan. Obviously, this is a young players that you're always trying to get one game better and those type of things, but we have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better, all the above.
And what about the job that your defense did on Justin Fields for most of the football game? I think he had 11 yards until the Hall pass.
Yeah, I thought really good moments. Obviously, we were hadn't given up much on defense, but the game's script had changed with them getting those early points, and I thought the guys battled throughout, but I know there's plenty that we can probably do better.
It's the only question he was precise with his answer. You know what I mean?
Was he watching the game? Why does he have to look at it again?
Right.
He's not going to speculate on how many games. He's not going to speculate. I just get how do these guys get up for this guy anymore?
They don't.
Did you hear what Myles said
getting
today on his first press conference answer? He just kind of said, "We just got to be better." He just kind of said, "But it always came across to me like, was he just being a smart ass?" Or
I think they're just
need to
getting
go
up
find
for
their
each
Dan
other.
Campbell, dude. They need to go find their Dan Campbell.
Yep.
That's the version. That's the football guy that an AFC North team needs, is a Dan Campbell.
I would take a look at Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs D coordinator.
I know who
Could
Steve
not be
Spagnuolo
more
is,
out.
dude.
No, I know, but
I mean, I've only missed a couple months of podcasts, not a couple decades, dude.
I know you know. I'm just putting it out there for everyone.
I think we all know.
I'd rather Sarkisian over Spagnuolo.
Well,
I'd
of
rather.
course you would. But
I'd rather.
You would have rather had Stefanski up until about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, everybody! Sark is such a better pick over Steve Spagnuolo. My God,
you're right.
Bro's been
All
available for head coaching jobs for like 8 years.
Yeah,
he's been winning Super Bowls though.
He also declines interviews because he stays as the defensive coordinator for the best team that's been there for the last 10 years under the best head coach.
He can also stay there.
Here,
Shout out to
be
Jimmy Cleveland, the back-to-back $5 donations. Go ahead, fellas.
Be on the contrary, though, doesn't mean he's going to be a good head coach. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Here, Romeo Cornell came to Cleveland and shit the bed. You know what I mean? So, doesn't mean that.
Was a head coach for the Rams, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's just it. He was a head coach, and then he became a coordinator. So, you got to get somebody in there.
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, you got to get someone in there that's. You can't. They got to get it right. But here, they got to stop. They got to start at the top. You know what I mean? So unless they hire a coach that like Cowher did, he had full say so over everything. And Belichick was the same way. But I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. Hey, let's bring a coordinator in. You know, doesn't mean here.
Be another nerd.
We did that with Stefanski.
Nerd.
Yeah, but that's different, Joe. Spagnuolo's been around for freaking 35, 40 years.
I know that.
That's a huge difference.
I know that.
Importantly, they bring a camp of people with them.
Doesn't mean he's a good head coach, is what I'm saying. Doesn't mean he's not. Doesn't mean he's not.
I'm not saying that he is.
Why would he come here anyway?
Well, I'm not saying that he would. He's turned down interviews at other places over the last couple of years. Anyways, I'm not saying.
Well, he's probably trying to get that job. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's probably next in line for that job. When
I mean, he's the highest paid coordinator in the NFL. I mean, there's reasons obviously that he might not even come here. I'm just saying. He brings culture. You know what I mean? Like he knows what a winning culture is. He's been in the building for the last 10 years. He knows. Knows.
Can't you just blade Stefanski and give Schwartz a shot and get a similar type of approach?
Well, you'll never see me say give Schwartz a shot because I'm a Lions fan.
Well, I know.
He did absolutely horrible.
I understand,
but
well, here, but that here. I mean, the Lions were.
Well,
they were the Cleveland Browns for a long time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We needed a Dan Campbell.
Give me here. Try Schwartz there. Try Nick Saban at a football operations.
I think Schwartz is gone in the offseason either way, and he's our biggest asset because of the defense he's built.
They're tied together.
I mean, you might as well get a crack at it before and get the heads of the locker room guys up like we had when Greg Williams had that little run and we had that little wave of like 3 or 4 games of like in a losing season, a little bit of momentum, of toughness, and something for the fans to watch and get excited about and shit before.
I think he should be the interim. I think that they should fire Stefanski and give Schwartz a chance now, for sure. But I
what if he goes out and wins 4 games?
What?
What if he goes out and wins 4 of the last 6 games or 4 of the last
Well, there you
7
go.
games. I mean,
Now
then
you know.
you might not have to go to search for him. You don't know. He's already here. He's in the building.
Yeah.
You know who else was in the building? It was Mike Vrabel.
Yep.
Right. Oh boy.
Who is just doing an amazing job with the Patriots. I read a stat today that there were 13 different New England Patriots that have scored a touchdown this year, offensively.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane.
13 different offensive players scored touchdowns for the Patriots. They have
Well,
truly built a team culture.
Yeah, and he's not their offensive guy though. I mean, their offensive play caller, obviously, you know who that is, but
He's their head coach.
What?
Vrabel's their head coach. That's why I'm saying it.
No, I know, but I'm saying you know who their offensive play caller is.
Well, yeah, Daniels. But,
yeah, but my point is he's not a head coach, but he's a great coordinator.
That's what. Yeah.
But that's what I feel like. If you bring in an offensive guy, like an offensive head coach, they're going to want to call the plays. They're going to want to have something to do with the offense. I think they need to bring in a tough, defensive-minded coach, and then bring in a offense and just let that a great offensive coordinator, and let that offensive coordinator take full control of the offense.
And you don't think Vrabel, if he stayed in Cleveland, would have overhauled the entire staff and brought on his people?
No.
Well, he would have promoted guys that should have been promoted. Like he took Ashton Grant, who was with the Cat, or the Cat. Joey just put "Go Cavs" in the thing. That's why it threw me off. Good to see you, DB. No, he took Ashton Grant, who was an offensive staff assistant on the offensive side of the ball, who Stump Mitchell said should have been. They all saw his value behind the scenes. Never got promoted, and then he said Vrabel comes in for 1 year, and guess where Ashton Grant goes? With Vrabel to New England as the quarterback coach.
Yeah. Vrabel just all he did was come in here and scout who he should take with him.
Yeah. And watch him put all the chips on the table to bring Myles Garrett to New England.
They just got to get somebody in there that's a builder, that builds and can build an organization.
Build more than stadiums.
Yeah, it's got to start at the top. I mean, it's here when the Lions brought in Dan Campbell, they brought in Brad Holmes, who's done a phenomenal job. You know, Brad Holmes came in, had a plan, had a vision, and he said, I'm going to get a program builder, Dan Campbell, who was a tight ends coach in New Orleans, and that was that. You know what I mean? But
which, by the way, Dan Campbell took over play calling. He called the plays today, first time.
Until the Browns fans start making a stand and saying, I'm not going to consume and buy this terrible, shitty product anymore that's been sitting on the shelves rotting for 35 years. I'm not going to continue to eat this every Sunday. I'm not going to continue to spend hundreds of dollars of my own money every Sunday to watch this product and do this. It never has to change, because in their eyes, it's a well-running business because they're super profitable. Fans show up every Sunday. They sell all the beers. They they build a new stadium with the money. They're going to raise ticket prices, and still everyone's going to go because everyone's generationally a Browns fan and just loves spending their Sunday pretending not to be miserable for 3 hours and leaving miserable.
That's some pretty healthy ticket prices they're projecting for that new stadium. You see that shit?
It has to change, yeah.
280 racks for 50-yard line club. 280, just quick 280.
Yeah, who the hell is going to pay that? How could I pay that when Jamari Thrash is the wide receiver 3?
Just 280.
I mean, it is unbelievable. We knew what this was coming out of training camp. We looked at the roster. Every time we did one of these shows, we knew they were going to be 3-14. We knew they were going to be horrible. We knew Dylan Gabriel was a terrible third-round pick right in the middle of an actual good draft where they actually drafted talented people around. And there's talented pieces there. Mike's right. We do have foundational pieces. But do you think guys like Harold Fannin and Carson Schlesinger and those guys are gonna want to go through 3 or 4 years of just losing every Sunday and being losers, and then showing up to like off-season events like Jake Taylor in Major League when he's at that wine thing talking about who they play for? It was the Indians. He's like, oh, I didn't know they still had a team.
Yeah, uniforms and everything.
The Browns have become like the 1980s Cleveland Indians. And it's going to start eroding these young guys too, and it's going to ruin them. Look at the primes of careers we ruined. I mean, Nick Chubb is done. I mean, his career's over. We wasted all the years of his prime with him winning nothing. Myles Garrett's a freak of nature and probably has many years left to do what he wants, but he can't wait to get out of here to hopefully win something to create a legacy for himself. Joe Thomas, one of the greatest offensive tackles of all time, ruined by being a Cleveland Brown for his entire career.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
It's Jimmy's got to get in his bag this offseason. He's first got to clean house. I mean, if they run it back with these two guys, I can't tell you how catastrophic I think that could be to that locker room. I mean, because there's no belief with these guys right now. It's like,
and then look around at the other games. Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, and Baker Mayfield are all starting for other teams, all of which are putting up better stats for their teams than our starting quarterback of our team.
Yeah, and I just think again, he's got to do something. And if I was Jimmy, the first place I would start, I'm swinging for the fences. You know, I'm gonna put this on the screen. He tried back in 2017. He's very, very close with him and his family. Make a shot. I mean, try it. You know, and this article right here, you know, the Jets tried hiring Manning back in 2019. But it says not a job he seems to want because they wanted to hire him as GM.
Hell no.
I think he wanted to be president, but you know they tried back in 2017 and hasn't had strong and sincere interest in hiring Manning. He wasn't ready at the time; he wasn't interested, but the door was never closed. So I would try there first. Get somebody in here with some cachet, with some knowledge of the game, and you know he has a great relationship with Nick Saban, which has also been reported recently. I don't think Nick Saban's going to go on a sideline again, but let's get him up. He definitely has an eye for talent. He's definitely a program builder, no doubt about that. Maybe the greatest one ever. I think he would check all the boxes we need as a president, just a leader up front at the whole thing, and let him hire the next head coach. Get one of these guys in there first, or somebody like this, and then let them hire the next head coach, just like with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Bring them in together. And that's where they got to go. They got to establish a foundation first. But they need somebody that's proven. If you're going to hire a first-time head coach again, like some of the names you mentioned, Mike, which those might be some good candidates too. You know, Clint Kubiak is going to be a hot name this offseason. But you got to get somebody. Well, I feel a lot better if one of those guys makes the hire. We cannot do what we did with Kevin Stefanski. Well, a lot of it was Deep Podesta, which is let's hire the coach first, then bring the GM after. And look how that's turned out. I mean, it's a shit show like always. It's a dysfunctional, and that's the reason why John Dorsey was he eventually was ran out because him and Deep Podesta just didn't click. It was two guys trying to get in the ear of Haslam constantly, a big giant clash. So they gotta
hurting a jock.
Yeah, he needs to finally clean it out fully, and I mean clean it out fully.
Try lamb and an alpha beta,
and get somebody up there with some cachet that can be the president and let them pick it and leave it alone, Jimmy. You just pay the bills. All right, that's what you're there for. Take some notes from Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert swung for the fences, and also Dan Gilbert stays out of the way now. And look how the Cavs have turned things around. Take some notes.
Boys, my battery's fine. I'm out. Love you guys.
See you, dude.
Brother, see you. But Wahoo fans has sent a message. Browns fans, don't show up for the next home game. They are stealing fans' money.
They are.
Be a Wahoo fan, but that's my thoughts, guys. I think where we should go. I mean, Joey said he's going to wear a paper bag over his head every Sunday. But I don't know, guys. I mean, I guess some closing thoughts here. I mean, we're going to play the Ravens next week. I don't think they're firing Stefanski or Barry the rest of the season. I don't think that's happening. But what do you guys think they should do the rest of the season to make – I mean, obviously not make the playoffs. We know that. They're not doing anything spectacular. But what needs to happen the rest of the season internally to have some momentum going forward to next season? Because like you guys, we've all said, they can't just keep just – we know you're not that good. We know you want a better draft selection. We know changes need to be made. But it's like you got to have some type of good vibe in that locker room, in that building somewhere. Where do they generate it from?
I mean, really the only hope you have for any sort of like momentum push, I guess, is either you start your other rookie quarterback and he plays well enough and gets fans and the rest of the players excited, or if that doesn't work, if they do that and it doesn't work, maybe you move off Kevin a little bit earlier and Jim Schwartz takes over and maybe has a little bit of a late season push, kind of like what Dan was saying. Both, in my opinion, might work. But I mean, if not, then is what it is. I can understand Jimmy's trepidation in not
Ooh, I like
firing the
that
guys.
word.
$20 word, new word for your lexicon, brother. I can understand his trepidation and not wanting to fire Kevin or Andrew during the season, just because there are some coaching candidates that look at that, and look down at that happening. And if he wants to get like a prime candidate, he might, he wants to make sure he sets up a good, just baseline, like, hey, listen, I'm not that kind of owner anymore. I'm not just going to do that. So I don't know. So I really, in my opinion, they really just have to go to Shador and hope and pray that that's something. It's enough of a spark for the rest of the season.
I actually agree with that. I think that's kind of all they can do, honestly. Because one thing Shador has over Dylan, and I think a lot of guys, it's just he has his own swagger and a belief. The one thing that kid has is high confidence in the way he talks. And that's something you've always said. But I feel like guys would get up for him. Like Myles has said things publicly, even during the season, about Shador on different shows. He's like Mike, he's been seen helping him out a lot. Like I think guys would get up for him. I think there's some stuff behind the scenes people have heard of kind of what these guys really think about him and then Dylan. Not that they don't dislike Dylan or they don't support Dylan, but I think they all kind of feel like there's just a different vibe with Shador, which I think that's something Baker had. Baker wasn't perfect when he was here. It wasn't all his fault. Number one, obviously, he was not in a great development situation, but Baker had a belief, and I know Stump said this recently, that Baker had everybody in that locker room bought in on him. And they would run through a wall for Baker Mayfield just because he had a mentality. And Dylan's, I'm sure, a great guy, great kid. I'm sure he's trying, he is, but he doesn't have that to me. I don't see that. It's not his personality. I think he's a guy who's just going to be a career backup, which is fine. I mean, he made the NFL. Congrats to him. And no shame in that. But I feel like you have to do it with Shador. You got to spark something. You have to find something to get some type of energy or something, because you can't just keep doing this every week. It ain't going to work.
Well, I think they should go to him just for that reason, for that spark. I think the league has, part of it may have been his fault a little bit, just coming out of college, but the league has made him an underdog, a victim, and the way he's been dogged out by the media, the way they, basically everybody was going hands off, not drafting. He goes back into the fifth round, and people could say, there's some people to say, well, that's all he is, the fifth rounder. But you can't tell me all these other guys that were drafted ahead of him. He's not better than a lot of these guys. He's sure as fuck better than Dylan Gabriel. I mean, Dylan Gabriel's fucking no taller than me. You know what I mean? So he should not have been taken in the fifth round. So I think these guys in the locker room, if I'm in the locker room and I'm his teammate, I'm looking at this guy and I'm looking at what's happened to him, where I think it's been unfair to the guy, but he's been 100% positive. He's a great teammate. He's right there. He's probably coaching. He's probably in these guys' ears, getting these guys talked up. He's probably doing a lot of the coaching himself. You know what I mean? Just the personality that he has. So I think it would be very easy to get it for him. But I think the first thing they should do, I think they should just move Stefanski out of there, because he's in contact with the players, and he's the face right now. From a player standpoint, he's the face of the terrible culture. So they need to just move him out. You're going to have to probably leave Barry there for now to run the team. But move Stefanski out, put Schwartz in there, and then let Shador play. See what you got. See how it pans out. You got a different play caller in there now, but Stefanski first and foremost has to go. And this guy takes no accountability. He's just not a good coach. He does not set a good standard for these players. And I think the players, and I don't give a shit who you are, I don't care if you're a football player, you're a trash man, you work at McDonald's, you work at a car dealership, whatever. Everybody wants to be led. You know what I mean? Everyone wants a leader and someone they can respect. And I just don't think that guy's it. So move him out of there, put Shador in, try to find some kind of spark for the rest of the year. See what the hell you got. If anything, I tell you this, it will certainly be better than where they're at right now. You just get Stefanski out, get Dylan Gabriel out of there. They're in a much better position. They may only win a couple games because again they have to build a culture that they got to change everything, but it'll be sure as hell be better than what we saw today and in the weeks before. So that's what I would do.
And Dylan and Kevin are tied to the guy who left.
Yeah,
it's gone.
And again,
I'm saying it's like why keep anything attached to that if it's not there anymore? Might as well move on.
Get them the hell out. You could tell by Myles' reaction; it was plain as day when he was asked that question. When he put his head down, he took away eye contact, and then he asked her to repeat the question so he could think of an answer to get out of it, because he didn't want to say what he really thought. You know what I mean? So, it's freaking crazy, man. You got a guy again there's 5'9" trying to throw a football in the NFL. It's just unbelievable.
Top 100 pick. Dragon God Smith 3000. Good to see. So finally caught another live instead of watching later. And they said, I think with the way Kevin's been acting, everyone around the league and the perspective, coaches would understand he's a definition of insanity and narcissism at this point. Joey said Browns fixing games, ? Chantel said there was a Jets fan wearing a Breece Hall jersey, waving a 12 jersey today. Did you see it, Joseph? I did not see that, Chantel, but I'm not surprised. Dan said breaking news: Kevin Stefanski is actually now the manager of the Colorado Rockies. At this point, yeah, I agree. Play Shador. What did the Browns have to lose? Give him a chance. Yeah, Dylan doesn't have the big arm or size of an elite NFL quarterback. I agree with you, big guy. I would say just starter, period. Let alone elite. But yeah, good to see Wahoo fan. I wouldn't personally take a quarterback until 27. Let Sanders be the bridge quarterback for the next year to decide if you're going to take take one. If not, Dylan Raiola is the man. If Stefanski goes, Barry needs to go. Well, yeah, absolutely. They're both tied together. We just lost to a quarterback, Justin Fields, who passed for 54 yards. Laugh out loud. How bad can it get? How bad can it get, fellas? I don't know. We're gonna go around the what we always end with. 54 yards and they still lost. A team that's tanking purposely. They traded all their core pieces away last week, by the way. We'll go around the horn here like we always do, fellas. Final thoughts, but score prediction for next week. Browns at home taking on the Ravens with Lamar back healthy. Chris, I'll start with you. What do you got?
33-6.
I don't need to ask who's winning that game. I already know. Mike?
Browns 17, Ravens 28.
All right. So, Gergs, you got 33-6. So the Browns get a whopping 6 points at home. That's great. Mike, what'd you say? 28?
14.
All right. So Mike has his under 20. Jersey?
Ravens 90, Browns 0.
All right, Jersey's going an all-time record next
believe
week.
it or not, though, I was already thinking about this, though. I think the Browns, oddly enough, it's a crazy ass upset next week. I don't know what the score is going to be. It'll be a low-scoring game, but I think the Browns win this game somehow, some way. Because this is what they do. They never beat the team they should beat, and then somehow miraculously beat a team they shouldn't have a chance in hell beating. I think the Ravens just come in and play way down, and the Browns just somehow pull up an upset. That's what I think will happen.
Okay, that was interesting. Dan said Ravens 38, Browns 13. Chantel says the Baltimore Browns beat the Cleveland Browns. Barry's just a victim of Peter's principle. 40-10, she says. B Squirrel says 38-7 Ravens, not Browns. Sorry, B Squirrel. Let me put that in your mouth. 38-7 Ravens. Baltimore Browns 40, Cleveland Browns 10. Joey's going to be in the house, so he said he'll bring the good luck to Huntington Bank Field.
Okay.
Joey, last time you were at a game was when Tyrese Halliburton hit the game winner on us. So I'm going to say, because you're going to be there, I'm going to say the Ravens. What's the weather going to be like next Sunday? That's a good question, too. I mean, obviously it's a week out, so maybe a little too soon. What's the weather going to be like? May rain. Okay. That's a week away. I'm going to say, because Joey's going to be there, and what happened last time we went to a Cleveland sporting event, we lost at the buzzer. I'm going to say Ravens 23, Browns 19. They won't get over 20. I'll say 19, and the Ravens go on a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter and put it away. That's what I got.
Browns need to fire Stefanski this week.
I agree. I'd fire him tonight.
Do it tomorrow morning. Fire him. Just get rid of him.
Oh, here you go, Mike. He said if the Browns beat the Ravens next week, I will pay for Antonace's tattoo of Stefanski's Coach of the Year trophies.
He's more than welcome to pay for a tattoo for me, but not of that. I will happily take his money for a tattoo, though. I want to get a dragon.
You're getting a dragon, huh?
Why not? That sounds cool.
The Stefanski dragon.
He said, laugh out loud, NFL is really becoming strange. You guys think the gambling getting into these players? It's getting around all sports. I mean, you saw today with Clase and Ortiz. Ortiz got arrested. And Clase is facing some serious charges, obviously, with fraud and conspiracy and all that. So it's definitely pervasive all around the league. I mean, stuff with the NBA, that's going to get worse, too. There's more names coming out there probably pretty soon. Ravens and Steelers will be 5-5 next week. I will not waste my money watching that garbage. I can't blame you there. Josh is in the house. He said, go Ravens. Yeah, he used to be a Browns fan. Now he's a Ravens fan. So he went to the dark side. Can't blame him, though. I can't take it either anymore. But but I'm not never changing. I'm always going to be a Browns fan. Good prediction, Joseph. I like it. Wahoo fan says, look at Clase, Ortiz, both indicted. Yeah. Jimmy Cleveland, thank you tonight. Shout out to Jimmy Cleveland tonight, folks. We gotta give him.
Yeah, thank you for all the donations, Jimmy.
I like Jimmy Cleveland.
Jimmy, thank you very much.
Very much of you.
Thank you so much. We thank all you guys. We love all you guys. And Jimmy says if Dylan played for bad fans, if Dylan played bad, fans gonna call for Shador.
I can hear the chants now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting next week back at home.
I hope they play Shador next week. I hope Shador starts against the Ravens.
I think. Well, here, you know what? A lot of us said that earlier in the season. We thought it would be the Baltimore game.
I think it's gonna be a Tennessee game.
I hope they do.
He said,
I'll tell you
Lipton.
what I'll do. If Shador starts, I'll say 33-9 Ravens.
All right. Mike Dan said, or a Lipton iced tea tattoo of your infamous 101 game against Vince Martin.
It was Pure Leaf, I think.
It was. I remember the bottle.
You want to tell that story real quick to the audience, Mike, so they have context.
I played basketball with an old manager, and I got really warm, and I didn't have any water. All I had was a Lipton ice or a Pure Leaf mint tea, and I poured it on my head, and I still had to work that day.
He was laboring out there.
I used to be a pack-a-day smoker.
You would die out there. The way you did it too.
He just poured it right on his head. It was so hot.
We laughed uncontrollably. Dan and I were just laughing our asses off. Erg, was you there?
Oh yeah.
You were there?
I think the whole staff was there. Even Brett was there.
Brett was there. That was wild. I didn't think Brett would show up.
That was crazy as well.
The whole bottle without even trying to get. He didn't even care if it got all the way on his clothes or anything. Didn't even move his head to just get it on his head to cool it off. Nope. Just the whole freaking just pour
Now,
tea
there
on my whole body.
There only was about half left. I did drink some of it.
Just pour it on my body.
That's the hydration of champions for athletes. Pure mint tea.
Delicious, dude. They don't even make that anymore. I'm so upset. I used to drink that shit all the time.
You'd shower in it. Claze and I will both be betting against the Browns. All right. Beast Girl says, nah, 30-14 Ravens. The Boo Birds will be out Sunday. Boo Dylan out of that stadium. Entire front office needs to go. Fire all coaches with the exception of Shorts. That was quite a one-on-one prize fight, says Dan. Talking about Mike's one-on-one matchup against Vince Martin. Shout out to Vince. To this day, no one in history has been posted up by a 50-year-old man quite like Mike was.
I'm not a big guy. I'm tall, but I'm lanky. Vince was a big guy.
Vince is a good shape. Vince is a good sized dude, though.
Did Brett give you any encouragement, Mike? Was he coach you on the sideline?
Brett was just having a good time.
Oh, I didn't. He didn't give you any pointers about. Well, tonight you may want to do this, or he didn't do that.
No, he didn't hit me with the. Well, it's nice. Still got to make the morning meeting. Everybody here is late.
Oh boy.
I can't say style 113. Or Seabrook.
Yeah. I can't stand Browns owner Jimmy Haslam. I don't trust him to get this franchise on the straight and narrow. Total incompetent fool. Mike, I know that's something you told me this week on the phone. You just don't trust him to get it right. I mean, how good you?
Yeah. I'm not a defeatist Browns fan. I've never been that guy, but it's just a worry that I have. Like we had some stability. There were some good years with Kevin and Andrew. Even with this draft class, like it's a good draft class, but like the culture was all weird, and like I think you would need a complete reset. And also, even with teams that have like good drafts and they fire their head coach and they decide to keep their GM, which is a rarity, but it happens. It never works, and they always have to get rid of the GM anyway. So I don't know. It's just depressing. Like I love my team. Like I'm passionate about my team. I'm a homer. Like I'm always gonna root for the Browns, win or lose. But like I enjoy the draft, but I don't enjoy looking to the draft when we have 8 games left. You know what I mean?
I agree. But well, fellas, I appreciate you guys. Jersey and Chris, I'll let you guys go. Mike and I will close it out. So thank you guys for here tonight. Shout out to Nick Kinsey for joining tonight as well. Yeah, shout out to Nick Kinsey. Mike, that was a great interview with Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in the chat. I was listening in. Seems like a nice young man. I hope him and the boys have a great time, have fun this Friday. As a former Explorer, I'm going to be on the sideline with you watching them, not wearing an Explorer's hat. It's going to be very what's the word? It's going to be difficult for me. It's going to be difficult for me watching one of my old schools get decimated. But I wish you all the best against the Explorers, and I hope the Explorers have a good time though too.
Oh yeah, I mean here, it's a great competition. Shout out to both teams, and it'll be a great night for both schools. I mean, making it this far is always can't take it for granted. Some schools never make it this far. Takes a lot of hard work, and playing in November is a reward. So, and I hope these guys stay in the moment and cherish it, enjoy it, and yeah, man, live in the moment and enjoy it. Friday night,
especially all the seniors, because you never know if you're going to play the game you love anymore. You know,
exactly.
So
Friday night's your time to shine. So, go get it. Justin, Mike went to Hudson
for like a year, yeah, and then I went to middle school a bunch in Hudson. So my mother was a gypsy. I'm technically an explorer, a black tiger, and a bulldog, and a rough rider for a little bit. But like, I only went to like 1 year, in Kent. So I didn't make a lot of friends there or anything. But yeah, no, I've been everywhere.
Nice. Mike's a man of many trades and traits and different alumni.
Man of many locations.
Yeah, man of many. Yeah, there you. That's the word. Look for many locations, and he can go to many alumni parties of different schools. But there, the class reunions, you can go to many different schools. Their class reunions. So,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Shout out to Nick Kinsey. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Jimmy Cleveland as well tonight for your donations. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And everybody in the chat tonight, as always, all the people that tune in. Wahoo said, "Night guys, don't let this football team ruin your Sundays. Can't take this version of the Browns seriously." It's a good way to look at it, Wahoo fan. I like that perspective. That's why we come here, have fun with it, and just try to have a good time and let you guys vent, and we all vent together. So.
All that, and at the end of the day, we're still Browns fans. We're always going to root for this team. We're always going to love this team. But mostly it's the interaction with the fans. I know Joseph and I absolutely adore it. And it's basketball season, baby. The Cavs are playing. I can't get depressed about that. My Cleveland Cavaliers are great.
Yeah. They need to like, subscribe, and share, Mike.
They certainly do. Please, folks, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for all who listened to us this evening. Thank you so much to Jimmy Cleveland for all the donations. It goes directly to the show. Helped us out a lot. We never ask for it. We never encourage it. But here, if you feel so inclined to do so, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, all that good stuff. And if you like this content, please share it. Helps us out a lot. Helps get the word around.
Like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, at least the Cavs win more than they lose. Same with the Guardians. Got that right. And the Buckeyes. In my hoping. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next one. I'm saluting out of here. Mike, what are you doing?
I just finished priming my living room.
All right. We got Sherman Williams over here. We'll see you in the next one. We're out of here.
Later.